Alrighty, was erwarten wir? Wir erwarten Cassioban, wir erwarten Poppyban, wir erwarten Shenban. Auf der anderen Seite wahrscheinlich Nocturne Bard.
And the LCK has also made it to your screens. We are here in pick and ban.
Poppyban.
Number one, Poppy going to be taken away first. Very, very standard stuff. I think
Bard.
the question marks are going to be the Cassiopeia Orianna situation and whether that lock is once again going to be looming.
Shen,
An answer to the
Cassio,
I feel like
Orianna, Nocturne. Lucian, oh, okay.
when they can get access to it early
Alright.
draft, so that may end up being a big priority for them. And given
Doch,
that the
Fake hatte sogar in der letzten Series ein Game of Lock, meine ich.
over that allows them to get the rise in that second pick position is going to be the question. The Bard ban comes through, which is just kind of a standard now against T1, but it does take up some of that space.
Cassio offen, Orianna offen. Nocturne offen.
Yeah, this is crazy. I think it... Does it have to be Cassiopeia, though? That's the question. I feel like GENG needs to throw the gauntlet and...
Nocturne auf 3.
their own, like, Chovy lock counterpick into the Faker Orianna if it does actually come up. That might be the answer, but we'll just have to see. I feel like it's so dangerous leaving Orianna up against the best player of all time. You know, I just feel like that's so difficult. They're going to do it anyway, as the Nocturne will be banned away.
So, Orianna oder Cassio?
A fantastic pick for Ona, but also syncs really well with the Orianna, so...
Im Normalfall ist es Orianna.
Give the opportunity
Yep,
to
okay.
grab both of them.
Oh, man.
Orianna goes...
Ezreal plus Cassio?
Faker.
This is actually, like, such a flex by Faker as well, to be like, no, I just win both.
Oh, Jace ist auch offen.
Because he was so
Aber Olaf ist auch offen. Ne, sie sollten Ezreal plus Cassio, oder?
as well.
Yeah. I think for me, obviously getting a jungle, high-power jungle is going to be important here.
Oder halt Cassio, Jarvan und dann Toplane auf 3.
You go...
Oh, sie picken den Olaf, okay.
something
Okay, sie picken den Olaf.
They've been
Okay.
heavily prioritizing this for Keen. I know we've seen it rise in priority
Okay.
generally,
Yeah.
but specifically GENG.
Ja, ich glaube Jace nicht wegen Olaf. Das ist das Problem.
Getting for Keen, comfortable in the kind of matchups. We've seen a lot of picks prepared into it that have
Ja, ich würde Jarvan picken wahrscheinlich, ne? Jarvan Value hier geben. Schwierig.
some interest to see what Durham will bring out into this.
Cassio auf 3 kannst du auch Akali geben, wie Danisch gesagt hat. Aber ich würde, also Jarvan ist obvious pick hier, right?
Because I want to know whether there is a there's no flex option. Don't
Lee Sin.
That's a Lee Sin
Okay.
we picked up here for Canyon, and we are leaving that mid pick up in the air for Chovy.
What a thing
Ich finde, die Bans ergeben sehr viel Sinn. Von GENG. Was würdest du sonst bannen? Also Orianna, Cassio, weil das Problem ist, wenn die nicht Orianna oder wenn die nicht Cassio bannen, dann bannst du Orianna, dann bekommen die Cassio for free. Also es ist entweder ein Trade oder es ist, also entweder sind beide gebannt oder es ist ein Trade.
And the thing that's good about this is
Ist besser auf 3.
GENG in a difficult position where if they pick mid on 3 and respond to the Orianna, then they can't...
Ja, die spielen Camille, aber die spielen ohne Vi Camille, so wie letztes Mal, right? Das heißt, Six, Camille haben das letzte Mal gespielt, jetzt ist Jin.
Or are you going to pick a mid laner for Chovy here?
Well, Akali auf 3 ist nicht bad.
I think you're just gonna have to let
Lock auf 3 ist nicht bad, actually.
time on the
Oh,
Camille.
sorry, Shen's already banned. I
Yeah,
guess it'd
Shen
be
is
something
taken
like...
away.
Lock 3 ist nicht bad.
With Shen off the cards as well, then you probably just go mid, and they end up
Ow.
going for the Galio here. So having some good setup for the Lee Sin. This is a pick that
Interessant.
Chovy has had banned against him a good amount of times.
Nimmt die Camille so Akali / Lock raus.
Bonkers.
Not to mention, now like they can play around Ruler, who is
So, würde Doran
actually feel
Klett spielen.
intelligent.
Also Jax würde ich mir vorstellen. Right? Jax auf jeden Fall ein Champion, den Doran spielt.
but also really being
Vor allem in diesem Matchup, denke ich.
Kalista play absolutely amazing. Harken back to times where we saw him getting that champion banned against him every single game, even when she wasn't even really in the meta.
Okay.
And it was kind of crazy. The best thing about this bottom lane being locked in for T1 on the GENG side, though, is that they
Wie so,
can ban the Kled, ban maybe the Vayne, although the Vayne hasn't necessarily...
Vayne oder Jax habe ich mir gedacht.
Jax as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
I think good options. One thing is that GENG with this comp so far have kind of lent into this sort of death ball style. We've been seeing more from them recently with these bruisers. They did bring out
Bruisers.
the bot lane for Ruler, kind of like ult on top and have all this bulk. This is already a pretty hard composition, I feel like, for Jin to cut through. And Camille, if she's diving in, liable just to get CC'd by the Galio and die. So,
Yeah.
not the easiest situation. Now the Jarvan ban comes through. Jarvan
Sagen entweder oder, ist beides halt gleich scheiße.
honestly, both Galio and Olaf, the terrain kind of blocking you from being able to do what you want to do. So it makes sense here, but does leave Doran with a fair few options in this top matchup.
Interested in this last ban. I kind of feel like Lulu is very high value at the moment, given GENG's propensity to head towards a hyper carried style of bottom lane. We'll see exactly where they
Ich will überlegen, ob ich Kaiser hier geil finde, aber Lane ist halt tough.
Yeah.
then they will
Lane ist tough. Die könnten Nautilus auf 4 picken und dann Last Pick Support. Last Pick AD Carry. Oder sie gehen Leona, wenn sie mehr Engage haben. Ich sehe Leona, ich sehe Nautilus.
On top of him, you've got Elise in safeguarding around, getting into backlines and things like that. It's not
Oh, wow.
much of a big deal, but that is the Ruler Callista we were talking about. A little bit of a different flavor as GENG aim for a little bit more mid-game.
So presumably going to be Renata on
Geil.
5. And
Sayaraka im Winkel, ja, wenn Sayaraka nicht gebannt wäre, dann hätten sie, also dann wäre es okay gewesen, ja.
Mangled by this composition. Now,
Okay.
side of T1, what are we going to see into Keen? Is it just going to be that Jax? Is it going to be the Vayne? And also, I think for Owner, having a ball delivery system is pretty important. We've seen Pantheon work in a
Don't
pinch.
like this. Okay, he's gonna go for it.
Vayne comes out into the Olaf, and so many of these Olaf matchups.
Ja, sehr fies auf Hammond Draft.
You know, we've seen the Vayne be very successful in the LCK, but it's not like a guaranteed you pick Vayne, you win. A lot of it's going to come down to Doran being able to outplay Keen in that matchup.
And so many of these Vayne drafts that we've seen with the Vayne attempting to answer the Olaf just leaves the draft so wonky. And this is another example of that, right? You've got double
Ja, ich finde den T1 Draft irgendwie komisch, oder nicht?
flimsy support.
To be honest.
And then you've got an Orianna that does have defensive capabilities, but Owner has to be so far ahead of the curve for them to be able to play around any kind of frontline here in this game. At least Aegis is completely broken as an ability, but I still find that a lot of these drafts do tend to
Execution sieht, also Execution hier auf diesem Draft ist so hoch.
comfortable as a lot of our more
Deswegen Ignite Storm Race für Olaf, ja, oder Exhaust.
together here.
Yeah, and even though Vayne obviously has the silver bolt, good for shredding through bulk, I feel like the build we see in the top lane isn't the same as we'd see like in an AD carry role.
Yeah.
And you just need time, and this Gen G comp, especially the mid game, is just going to take a fair bit of time to cut through it as they dive forward. The hostile takeover value here is also tremendous into this enemy composition. And there's a lot of people to block, like the Jhin ult shots in this situation. So
Yeah.
for me, I think Gen G, you know, they've got a strong mid-jungle combo, a strong bot lane 2v2, and then the Olaf, we've seen how
Shit.
they take over games if it gets ahead.
Das ist noch Unchanged Kamel, genau. Ist noch der 15er Patch.
That will scale well.
Yeah.
And it
Change ist komplett outdrafted, bin ich dumm. Ich finde die also Burden of Execution ist sehr, sehr hoch halt. Die anderen sagen von Arten.
really important. And I'm looking at carry, I'm looking at
Und Captain danke auch für den 17. Burden of Execution bei T1 ist sehr, sehr hoch. Plus wenn die behind fallen, haben die nichts auf Objectives. Und Hendrik auch danke für den 7. Ja, also ich glaube, die haben halt ab Minute 25 outdrafted. Ja, also bis Minute 25 gegen Kalista, Renata, Lee Sin ist nicht so leicht, ne? Sehr, sehr, sehr viel Potential.
All right. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1. Okay, I missed a
Olaf geht immer Storm Raiders in diesem Matchup, ja.
time around. Sometimes it's hard.
Ja, Storm Raiders Ignite, okay, nicht Exhaust.
One fan chat, and then it took a while for it to settle down so they could do the Gen G fan
That
chat.
that is what I then realized. I thought maybe the other side of the arena wasn't mic'd up, and that's what I was hoping was to be the case, and not that there is just no GENG fans there.
Well, they did come in the back end, so but there was a lot of
Yeah.
T1 fans
Yeah.
who were kind of occupying the space. So
A much better outcome in the end, as it turns out. But I imagine that tickets were difficult to get.
So.
As, you know, it's hard on the best of
Wie viel hast du?
here at Lowell Park. And now in the KSPO Dome.
Ich finde Kalista, je mehr Games ich von ihr sehe,
Well, there were a lot
also nicht OP, aber schon sehr, 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 sehr stark.
lucky enough to be at the stadium. So a lot of these
Dieser Static plus Skin zu Spike fühlt sich oft richtig dumm oder sieht oft richtig dumm aus vom Augentest her.
It's a whole lot of fun. So if you ever do have a chance, if you're here in Korea, pop on over, because it's pretty awesome. Pretty sure Dagon went to the last one, as Duro's already flashing here on this bottom side.
Okay.
Carrier finding a great angle.
Wenn er in Level 2 mockt.
The flash out of Duro.
such a good
Wie
start.
viel, ich habe keine Ahnung, wie viel die Tickets kosten.
Having the early levels.
Tatsächlich, ich hab keinen Schimmer für solche Events.
Problematic in the all-ins, but you get the jump in early before they'd even hit level 2. Flash bin by Duro is a pretty heavy.
Ich glaube, LCS sind so ein Zwambo.
Just kind of links in with how Carrier and Pays have been performing excellently in the bot lane, the most fearsome bot lane 2v2 right now in the world.
They are very, very frightening. As Chovy, not so much. He's on the Olaf, having a little bit of a rough time here as Keen is just going to get condemned by Doran.
200 Euro.
Thrown
Tschüss.
his axe around though and has been able to
Okay.
clear out some waves.
Tschüss.
And
Sie Graf.
got to crash a little bit underneath this turret for Doran to deal with. Still the Vayne doing what it says on the tin, right? Ahead by about 10 CS right now.
We've seen Keen go this before, the Ignite.
Ach so, stimmt, für 3 Tage. Ja, warte mal, stimmt. 200 für alle 3 Tage. Stimmt, warte mal.
Chovy, that's one more auto.
Wow.
And Faker just says, you flash, buddy. I don't need to.
Ui.
Really well played there by Faker. This is why they prioed Orianna so heavily. And also just, as you said, right next to the tower, Chovy has to flash because a flash order would have killed him, but Faker just retains his summoner spell, which is also massive into Galio Lee Sin, where the gang...
Scheint ja Faker im Hintergrund.
Oh, both of these mid laners going to be coming back to lane, but Chovy not so lucky.
Ja, aber Huge normalerweise ist es eigentlich immer ein komplett Fein-Matchup für Chovy. Dieses Matchup especially, ich meine, er ist farmtechnisch ist er noch okay. Aber habe ich, glaube ich, noch nie so low gesehen. Safe ultra schwer Tickets zu bekommen, gehe ich stark von aus, ja.
It also, for GENG, makes their mid-jungle a little bit more awkward because so often you can just opt into a fight with Galio Lee Sin, the flash setup from Chovy, pretty much guaranteed you can 100-0 someone with both your damage and the...
Oh, that's a fantastic handshake, but still the stun comes through on Duro. He doesn't have flash, remember, so does need to be very careful as the
Trading Pattern ist trotzdem okay noch.
Still Duro is going to have to make his way
Diese
home.
Pollux.
Okay, he's not going to be hit by that Pierce.
I think they're concerned about the jungler coming in, and Ona is here. That being said, Renata is very precarious to dive.
Cleanse up. I mean, double thumbs up bei Ruler. Oh, die haben gegrieft. Oh, die haben gegrieft. Oh, die haben komplett gegrieft. Okay, aber das sah doch schon, als sie dafür gegangen sind, scheiße aus, oder nicht? Double thumbs up bei Ruler. I mean, gut outplayed, richtig, aber...
And here, Ruler had both sums, but the mindset of T1 was we have to dive and kill the Kalista. The Kalista has to die because if we kill the Renata...
Oh wow, das ist echt richtig billig. In LCK Arena, im LoL-Park.
Ruler still had them, and he put them to great use.
Cool, weil nächstes Jahr, ich bin im Mai in Korea und da würde ich gerne in den LoL-Park gehen. Ja, also irgendwie, der sah schon so richtig scuffed aus und dann Turret Aggro auch scheiße.
It could have been a disaster if he'd actually died a little sooner and then got the reset onto Pays.
Yeah.
Then he could have just lived. But obviously the timing from Ona was good there, but overall just a big botch by T1 and a great defense by...
Da muss ich freiwillig aus dem Haus, ja.
Finds another undertow actually.
Habe ich das ja auch schon versucht, ja. Aber ich vermute, da kann man vielleicht über Connections regeln, eventuell. Wir schauen mal. Mal sehen. Ansonsten, ich bin auch ein Spawn-Camper, wenn Tickets online gehen. Muss Panther nicht zu stunnen zuerst? I mean, das Problem ist, dann ist der Panther am Tanken und sie können immer noch outplayen, right? Also ich glaube einfach, diese Dive-Situation, wenn Ruler Double Thumbs Up hat, ist sehr schwierig. Spawn kann man noch nicht so warten. Ja gut, da müssen die Connections regeln.
I guess, dangerous with the fact that we don't have teleport taken early, right? You require that quest completion before you can make your way comfortably back to lane in a lot of these matchups. And it does mean that if you do manage to get a big crash like Keen just did,
ja, da kenne ich ja mit T1 mit Chef.
Und
ich hätte auch nichts dagegen, so ein Frittengruppenmatch zu sehen, by the way. Ich weiß, dass da Tickets halt easier zu bekommen sind. Klar, die T1 oder GENG Games, ich weiß, dass da halt impossible ist. Aber ja. Ja, jetzt mit Botlane Pressure bekommst du First Drake und das ist halt richtig unangenehm, weil Early Statics bedeutet mehr Botlane Push, mehr Botlane Kontrolle, mehr Objectives.
And T1 not opting to contest, which, to be honest, I think may just be the right call.
Yeah.
Given the Kalista Renata's strength in skirmishes like these.
Yeah, I think based on what happened underneath that turret earlier on, it's a good idea to be a little bit more chill. You did have
das ist lang für die 92er Stück.
Now picked up.
Man muss ja auch sein hoch halten, wie scheiße T1 ist, und sonst sieht das nicht. Auf Deutsch. T1 ist scheiße, fick dich, Tolkien. Geht. Kann T1 early swappen hier, normale Swaps Richtung 37, also T1... Au, da haben wir den Swapper. 7 Minuten 37 rum.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, please. That's all I ask. Mainly because I just really like Cloud Souls and Earth, Wind and Fire.
Wann checken Sie's?
They make me happy in this world. And it'd be really cool to have one. I don't really like...
Swappt dann als früher. Jetzt bedeutet das, die pushen jetzt Toplane und invaden Topside-Camps, oder?
That's valid.
Yeah.
Gegner Rap-Buff. Oh, sexy. Duro außerdem Level 6. Krass, 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 ne? So huge hier Level 6 zu haben. Was der Hintergrund ist einfach eine gute Wave für... Also sie ist jetzt spawnt die Wave. Siehst du, 37 ist die Wave, die jetzt spawnt. Das ist die Grub-Timer-Wave, quasi.
Transgressions will not come back to haunt him.
Yeah, he doesn't get punished for it. I mean, Galio's not the easiest to punish just because he has the Justice Punch to get away, the taunt to soak damage, but I always wonder in these situations, it's like, yes, nothing happened as a consequence of his flash being down, but what could have happened if his flash was up? Could he have found an angle to make a play? But to be honest, I think Faker's been playing the lane very well, not really giving any windows over. But now, Chovy has prior clears out the wave. We actually had Keen walking up here. So look,
Kein Topside im Welt.
Mid. It was GENG who initiated the swap here, and they have 5 members on this side of the map.
Und ich finde 3 Grubbies, ich weiß, dass sie immer gemimt werden, aber 3:0 Grubbies, nicht mal unbedingt, also 3 Grubbies an sich sind stark, aber die Gegner haben keine Grubbies, du kannst ja keine Trades verlieren.
Goal to Doran here, allow him some alone time to get a plate at least. And it does cost him 3 grubs, but I think T1 make the right read on the situation.
I think it's kind of awkward though, right? Because now it's GENG picking up every neutral objective so far here in this early game. I'm kind of waiting to see when T1's going to start pulling the trigger as this Vayne answer. Yes, he's ahead in a little bit of farm, but he's not ahead in gold.
T1 öffnet über Mid. Oh, die wollen über Mitte einen Fight forcen. Interessant, na, wann kommt der Swapback? Weil jetzt müsste Ruler so circa 80 CS, 2 Kills, müsste jetzt auf Static, ja, da kommt der Base, müsste auf 80 CS Base Static fertig haben und jetzt swappen sie zurück. Kannst wieder in die Botlane gehen, passt auch perfekt für Canyon, Pathing Right, ihr seht, der ist Botside-Camps gerade. Boah, er hat's noch nicht, actually, okay.
Yeah, I think if they can get this next dragon, that would be ideal.
Ooh, and they Duro has a flash again.
That's geil, ja.
Huge cost because often Ruler's going to be there to ult him, but it still obviously is a cost there. Duro not having that, can't use the hostile takeover.
Bin stark davon ausgegangen, dass er das Item hat.
Yeah, Dragon in 2 minutes.
Also, ist okay, weil für den Drake selbst wird das wieder haben. Jetzt die Frage, ob er Bot den Hard pusht oder wie er die Wave Stage spielen will.
Spikes for this GENG composition is whether they're really going to feel good. Feels great around that time. Galio feels great around that time.
Jetzt ist die große Frage, wie er das spielen will.
When you're trying to get towards those more significant 80 carry item buys. So
yeah, especially for the Ghostblade build that FaZe looks like he's going for this time around.
Yeah.
Stimmt, warte mal. Warte mal, stimmt, in Static ist ja gar kein Recurve Bow. Warte, du hast recht. Hab ich gar nicht drüber nachgedacht.
Just a scout slingshot and you're sitting on gold.
Ich schaffe so wie in solchen Matchups ahead zu sein. Das Matchup ist nicht schlecht, sobald du erst einen Base hast. Und er spielt Pre-First Base immer sehr, sehr gut. Also der ist halt Pre-First Base immer komplett even oder ahead sogar.
But it definitely, like, you get stronger laning. The trade-off though is that it takes a bit longer for you to come online. 55 seconds on that dragon.
Yeah.
Kein Static. Fertig.
Pretty comfortably. Faker is trying to put on some pressure, but doesn't quite have his shockwave back up and available just yet, and so it wasn't under too much threat, as we could see there. Keen just farming with undertows here towards his top side. Now has a CS advantage against Doran. Vayne pick not necessarily a counter option that we're seeing right now. We'll see whether Doran can run amok in these team fights and lock down some targets. T1 are going to require, like, singling out a target and destroying them. Hostile, Hex.
Worts gefallen mir aber von T1, ne?
Right?
Oder Fantanulti auf Bot, ja.
But Duro, he might be exactly that target as they get on top of Ruler. He has the cleanse, looking to try and bounce his way out. There's the Fate's call, looking to go back.
Sie haben halt Renata-Ulti noch, ne? Nächster Pull into Ulti. Nee. Aber der Fight ist jetzt sehr komisch für GENG, oder? Obwohl, sie haben noch Camille-Ulti, Renata-Ulti.
Fishing for the idea, but I think T1 going to go in again on this play. And
sieht mir eher nach Base for Ruler aus.
Kind of what I was talking about with Duro's flash being down, not being as consequential, because even with this flash down, Fate's call is there. Now, Canyon in a bit of a difficult spot.
Yeah, Faker is going to pull the orb back. Nice little taunt there from Chovy, but they push them out of the river. T1 with some control now. His owner goes in!
Okay, aber viel zu deep, oder? Ja, geile Renata-Ulti. Und Reset. Ja, und GG. Well played. Ja, also, guck mal, gefühlt, das sind 2 Situationen, wo du schon irgendwie, wenn der Play anfängt, merkst, okay, das kann nicht funktionieren, oder?
2-on-1 for Ruler's Kalista, and T1, it's Owner who sees a window. He knows no summoners on the Kalista, but the bailout, the value there, so massive to allow Ruler to...
Jetzt schaut euch die Items von Kalista an, jetzt ist es over.
Power of this GENG composition.
Aber also beide Plays, denkst du dir so, wieso Static auf Kalista, auch eher playt deine Prockies, deine Stacks.
Scuttle Crab for some vision and disengage. And then Owner sees this window where Ruler steps up. He knows he has no summon.
Also, der Play von Panther, wenn er execute, aber schau mal die Execution, schau mal, oh, Flash, 3-Mann Kick von Kenny habe ich gar nicht gesehen. I mean, der Counterplay von Genji ist halt perfekt.
And walks away from the play. It is going to be an Ocean Soul, which typically not the highest prior, but with a bulky composition like Genji's, there is a good amount of value at least, but again, not as crazy as some other Souls could have been. But Genji,
also der Counterplay von Genji, an sich war der Play so schlecht, sah nicht wirklich winnable aus von Outside. Also aber der Counterplay von Genji war wirklich schon pixel perfect.
That's okay. Earth, Wind, and Fire will have to wait. And maybe just next time it does.
Alleine.
As Ruler up here towards the top side.
Ja, jetzt halt, D-Waves, die Spawn ist.
Understand that you have the main character energy. It is either to do this, just throw a whole bunch of axes at the goat and kill him. There's the flash to follow, and Keen is going to be out of...
Ja, diese Storm Raiders, Olaf auch balanced.
Completely cut me off, and it is also going to make my point completely irrelevant. Because what I was going to say is that Ruler's scoreline was the same as the top of your screen. Not anymore. Keen decided he just wanted to kill Faker.
And this is so rough for T1. Keen gets some extra gold. This was just kind of disrespectful from Faker. He actually used the movement speed boost to get in range. So didn't have it to get away here, and he just gets run down. Can't even use the shockwave defensively. So Faker just disrespecting the Olaf and ends up paying for it.
That's a weird maneuver. But...
Ja, und ekelhafter wird's halt noch beim nächsten Drake-Fight, hat Ruler wieder beide Thumbs up.
And Genji, I think they can just play this one out relatively slow. Chovy gonna Justice Punch the wave, pushes that one into Pays as T1 are desperately just trying to get some chaos out of the...
Wie aggressiv die Lane-Assignment swappen ist auch so geil, ne?
Yeah, I think the fact that it is the Ocean Soul at least is kind of the silver lining for T1, but they are definitely not in a...
Nie behind the tempo. Wenn ihr seht, wie die basen, ist es so geil.
So often, when you're playing against a team when you're behind, you're looking to try and pick targets off or kill vulnerable targets, but when you look at Genji's composition,
ja, mindestens even.
There's not really any easy targets. As long
was wie auf Emerald.
Generally within the vicinity, the top side of the map is bulky and either has mobility, CC immunity, or, you know, Galio's Taunt is a great tool. And then for the bot lane, you have the bailout for Ruler and the Fate's Call for Duro that just makes it, unless someone's really isolated, it's hard to get a quick pick.
Well, T1 are on the Rift Herald. Now going to make Shelly feel impatient. She will just run on back to the pit. It looks like Genji are just going to be able to pick this one up where T1 started. She will charge her way out, but that water...
Tolkien liegt schon schief im Stuhl, der soll froh sein, dass er überhaupt aus dem Kofferraum rausgekommen ist, der Penner.
They're going to try and find an angle. Yeah, Owner is looking to make his way in. Doran has already thrown down the ulti. There's the cleanse from Ruler.
Oh, er ist tot. Oh, Olaf. Oh, Olaf. Oh, Olaf.
In a lot of trouble as well, but Keen is now being the carry. Misses that axe onto Pays though, however.
Boah, Keen hat den Herald instant aufgehoben und instant geplaced.
They should be able to take him down, and now Keen the Herald going to take the Herald exit. Gonna use that to get the knock up. There's this Justice Punch. And now, will the Olaf be able to turn on a dime? Looks like no. The turning circle on Shelly does need to be improved. As there's the condemn out. Keen finds Pays.
Noch kein Flash gehabt bei Ruler gehabt. Sehr guter Collapse.
And the Herald, you know, gets to charge into the turret, doesn't get a huge amount of value. They manage to find Ruler here, and the bailout doesn't get a chance to come through. The CC layer in first. The condemn from Doran.
Ein guter Condemn.
The cleanse. And then he's just in.
Renata Ulti auch nicht perfekt, auf jeden Fall.
He doesn't get a chance to get a reset, and even though we start to see some Genji members cleaning up targets, Pays is free hitting this whole time. Doran doing a ton of work here on the Vayne.
Yeah,
Pays positioning went in.
Kind of fight that T1 were looking for
Herald in the
with this composition, but this was kind of ridiculous. 280 carries versus 2 bruises is also kind of a funny situation here as well. As far as the rock, paper, scissors is concerned, it doesn't feel like it should be that fantastic for T1, but yeah.
But the shield, his force shots, that is like the Jin.
Das war ein sehr guter Fight vom Jin bis halt zum Flash Donate, aber...
Shielded by Keen.
Not great. But hopefully next time he can get those bullets in the gun a little bit quicker. Chovy does have those 2 items.
Also Flash Up bei Ruler, Drake Spawn, kein Cleanse bei Ruler, Flash bei Owner Up.
Really good to go now.
Boah, aber auch keine Camelo-Ulti. Jetzt Instant Force wahrscheinlich, oder?
The item spikes for Genji are
Wave in Instant Force.
The point of the game for them is huge. And as much
Wow, Galio auch 2 Items fertig.
this dragon
Holy fuck, die sind OP.
the summoners.
Was?
Oh yeah, Carrier going in, looking for a bit of an angle, but there is Keen right on top of him. Carrier flashes away. Canyon looks to get himself out as the Undertow does hit onto 2. Faker's teleported in. That is going to be the end of that little scuffle. Keen without his flash actually up.
Canyon kann sich fast full healen von einem Camp. Schaut noch auf seine HP.
Yeah, that's big value. Getting Canyon's flash and also Keen's ult. The Olaf just feels so awful trying to team fight without your ult available. So big pickups there.
3 Grubbies bei sowas auch. Strong. Ja, und ihr seht schon, die geben. Das heißt, jetzt interessant, wie reagiert Genji? Right, sie haben TP bei Keen ab, aber ich glaube nicht, dass er Toplane TPen möchte.
Not having it, like the value of the hex plate is when you pop your ult, you get all those stats. So there's that
Yeah,
side
that's
to it.
true. Yep.
That being said,
Ja, Base hat doch Herald TP. Oh mein Gott. Oder Herald Base. Okay. Der verliert einfach nichts. Das ist so absurd. Ja, stark.
Is being willing to give over not even just dragons, but even souls when they don't think they are game losing. And I think this might be an example where T1 are like, look, Ocean Soul, it's going to help Genji, but do we automatically lose the game if they get it? And the answer is probably no.
And also, think about the entertainment value of flipping an Elder.
Frage der Fragen, kommt dann LDA als drittes oder kommt dann Rapid Fire?
Do it this year with Mountain Dragon, Mountain Soul as well.
Yep.
Where they've just gone, look, it's not great that they get it, but if we fight and lose, the game is actually over. So I think T1 making the right call here, not fighting into Genji's spikes. They did obviously get the flash from Canyon, but they just say, we can fight at a better time for us when we're really spiking, when we are really feeling comfortable.
Oh, we'll see when that is. That is the big question for me, Doran. Essence Reaver is on the way. He does have his hex plate already done, and Faker wanted to hit probably about 3 items before he's really comfortable, but does already have that Blackfire Torch.
When you said, this is a question for me, Doran, it sounded like you were asking...
Mortal Reminder.
Ah, yes.
Das hört sich natürlich auch gut an.
To be a Essence Reaver, Doran. Can you let me know? Based on the items that we're seeing and what Vaynes generally build, I'm assuming so, but if he could let us know, that would be great.
I think that'll be it. Right now, Baron is spawning up pretty soon.
Was wird Ruler? Jackshow actually, vor Terminus, interessant.
Actually, just changed the Rifters to Terry.
Oh, Terry, I love Terry.
Owner hat eine Series nicht gespielt.
Na
guter, am Ende sehr guter Play.
So going invisible, not very helpful. So they take out the Vayne. Is this Baron time? No, it's not looking like Baron time.
Just as Baron spawned, they had the Calista and the Lee Sin to help secure, and it is Terry. It's the lower damage Baron. You could start this up and look to turn. T1 have to stop you from getting into smite range, because you will win that smite fight.
Yeah, and Chovy is also in this mid lane. He can always out. So this Baron is...
Aber er macht nicht viel Damage. Er ist korrekt, der Nash macht nicht sehr viel Damage.
Find a flank angle and T1 are kind of exactly
Engage, schaut auf Keen.
There's the Fates call in. Look at this. Olaf rocketing into the backline.
Und der wie OP ist die Olaf-Ulti, dass er da, by the way, die Extension bekommen hat, das ist so krass. Der hat da seine Ulti-Extension noch auf KML bekommen. Braucht man keinen Runans mehr auf Kalista? Nein. Gerade nicht. Auf dem nächsten Patch vielleicht wieder, wenn es gebufft wird.
With this turn, we do see this play onto Doran in the top side. Good dodge on the axe, but it just means nothing.
Ignite für Nimbus Cloak.
With the Baron, if you look at the setup from Genji, even though obviously they get a kill for nothing.
Jetzt schau, dass er hier, schau mal, wie lange er die Ulti. Wow.
And it would have just meant Baron.
So dumm. Die müssen ich glaube, die müssen die Initial Ulti Duration von Olaf nerven. Und ich weiß nicht, wie sie mit Extensions umgehen, aber ja.
I think T1 responding well there. It's still a massive lead for Genji though, but obviously when you're playing into things.
Ja, Static ist einfach besser als Item für Kalista, also deutlich besser als ein Runans.
Speaking of the Vayne, looking for an angle towards.
Oh, it's told actually.
Doesn't have the ultimate for another 3 seconds. Owner makes his way in the condemn to push him away, and there's a silver bolt.
Guter Solo-Kill. Hallo Juli.
Really good counter kill here for T1.
Hardcap für Ulteration, ich meine, das war damals schon so, ja. Da, jetzt wo setzt es hin?
And an extra bit of gold in his pocket will be appreciated.
Certainly will. And now a teleport to get Chovy here towards his bottom side. He smelt farm. And he will be able to pick it up.
Bald tickt die Uhr. Ich glaube, es ist wirklich nicht so one-sided, dieses Scaling, wie du denkst.
Looking for item number 3, which should be the Zhonya's Hourglass, giving him a bit of extra armor, all of that, like the stasis. This like Galio build is super tanky and will start doing a lot of damage as he gets the next couple of items. Not to mention, all of his cooldowns immediately come back up again. That's cool, isn't it? Isn't it cool?
Haben die Olaf irgendwann stark gebufft? I mean, sie haben ihm das, seit sie ihm das Rework gegeben haben, ja. Dass die Ulti extended wird und der W ist ein Auto-Attack-Reset und so weiter seitdem. Ihr bekommt für die Recap diese Woche sogar ein richtiges Thumbnail, glaube ich. Crazy, ne? War letzte Woche schon fertig, da war ich zu faul. Ja, aber ja, das wird eine actually kürzere Folge, weil ich muss es heute aufnehmen. Ich muss es heute aufnehmen nach LCS, glaube ich.
Other than the goal differential is the lack of flash on Faker and Pays. So approaching this one has to be carefully thought out because, you know, Canyon still has his flash, and if he finds an angle to kick Pays in, that might just be Dragon, Soul, and then Baron in the game.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think if they lose one of these carries, there are 3 of them, so they do have carries to spare on the side of T1. But I do think as soon as the Phalanx starts to fall apart, GENG's composition just runs you down.
How good at that.
So, Double Thumbs Up bei Kalista. Kein Flash bei Chovy. Und kein Flash bei Keen, also mal sehen. Dennoch Double Thumbs Down bei den T1 Carries und die werden auch nicht abkommen für diesen Fight. Actually 40 Minuten, vielleicht eher 30. Ich versuche mich kurz zu halten.
You're going to connect here from Canyon. The Dragon down relatively low. Let's see
50-50.
They're going to go for this fight.
Ah, gut gemacht, Mann.
They get rid of the smite. There's the soul over to GENG. Shockwave is onto Canyon,
oh, er ist tot.
He gets bailed out, but I don't think he's getting a reset. So down goes the lead in.
Chovy ist auch noch tot.
He's able to block the Justice Punch, and Chovy's put into the ultimatum. That's 2 kills. And they do manage to get the hostile takeover out, but it's all just used defensively here as GENG just look to run away.
Müssen die jemals Nash forcen?
So sie flexen. Get the Dragon, get out, but T1 do not let it happen. They take down Canyon and then
müssen die jemals Nash forcen?
And now it's them who can move onto this Baron.
Yep.
GENG, you still have the ult on Olaf, but you lost the hostile takeover. I think
Double Thumbs by carries up.
Contest this one.
There is still a Fate's Call, I guess, so Duro does have a little bit more flexibility about where he can be. Faker off to the side, though. Deadly Flourish comes in. These health bars are so low! And now Keen is just trying to work out a way in. He can't really find it, though, as we...
Nee, it's impossible, oder?
He might die to the Baron, but Owner is still looking relatively healthy, and
GENG
back away. It's a T1 Baron at 25 minutes.
Faker's position there was so good at just providing that threat on the sides. GENG have to retreat. And look, the Ocean Soul is nice for GENG, but the gold swing that T1 got in the Baron is just worth so much more on their odds of winning this game. The route here that comes in, the Shockwave follow-up, just guarantees Canyon's death.
Duro-Ulti war spät, aber Hindsight-Talk natürlich.
Moving up here, and just they have no tools left to hold them accountable.
This was so cool from Doran as well, like blocking the Justice Punch, making sure that Chovy was definitely going to go down. T1 were able to get that follow. I think a lot of this game was going to hinge on Owner and what he was going to be able to get done. So far in a lot of these fights, he has been absolutely pivotal here for T1. Kind of reminds me of his performance game 1 in their first game of the LCK Roadshow earlier this week against DK. He was unstoppable. Similar performance.
Da ist so viel Standing Gold, also 3 Tier 1 Turrets ab. Sehr viel Standing Gold. Jug schon fertig, kein Terminus bei Ruler, also Damage-wise noch nicht so hoch.
I feel like that has been like Doran's superpower his whole career.
Yeah.
It's really just like he just keeps a level head. It doesn't bother him. If things go...
Es ist Mortal auf Jin, ja.
I think it's so important into this GENG composition that is bulky, that does take, you know, a couple of clips of Jin bullets to actually cut through, is that you are the DPS in this composition. There is damage from other members, of course, but you're the one who can just consistently, if you're alive, you can keep shredding anyone who comes in front of you.
Area was just bouncing on the wall for a moment and is just going to get thrown over it.
So the Baron was obviously secured by T1, but they haven't been able to get that much value from it yet. There's still a lot of towers up for GENG, and GENG have been doing a decent job of covering their bases. We do now see that top lane tower fall, but it's matched here in the bot lane.
Yeah, 1-for-1 as far as those turrets are concerned. They've taken an extra 400 gold after just the money you get from killing Baron.
Sehen kann immer mehr Kalista, ja.
Not exactly out of control.
Ich glaube, das erste Mal, dass wir das Game 1 sehen, aber ja.
And so GENG, I think, will be able to just recenter themselves and try once again. The gold lead is gone, though. Yeah, there is an Ocean Soul, but this is going to be like even footing going into an Elder fight that's exceptionally early into the game.
Yep.
Ja, Olaf Anti-Heal ignoriert keinen, also Olaf Ulti ignoriert keinen Anti-Heal.
Are starting to feel more and more comfortable. They have the Mortal Reminder on Pays, which even without the Ocean Soul would have been a good buy into this composition, but it's a pretty great buy. The only concern is I don't think he'll be able to hit Infinity Edge before we get to that Elder fight. Even with the fact he didn't go Rapid Fire Cannon like we often see our Jins do. So
yeah, maybe if he gets like a pentakill, he might be able to do it. And if anyone's going to get a pentakill just out of nowhere, it's Pays. He is the best at it, statistically, out of any other player in the world.
Honestly, depending on how much gold he is, he might have to go that Rapid Fire for just to have an item rather than sitting on components, as bad as it feels for that Elder fight. But we'll see. Obviously, getting IE finish is very important, but
Also die Kalista hat tatsächlich nicht so viel Damage, würde ich behaupten, für den Elder Fight. Also kein Terminus schmerzt auf jeden Fall.
Is that Elder doesn't do much damage, the dragon itself, and you have an Ocean Soul, a bulky comp, and a Callista. So GENG can just
Bekommen beide Jungler Jay, fertig ist die nächste Frage.
and pretty much
100 Gold-Lead für
have access to the pit and control of it. So for T1, it's really important to prevent that from happening. If GENG gets situated, you might not get a chance to really push them out again, especially when you're engaging into things like the hostile takeover. If they just pull a fast one, rend into Lee Sin, execute into Smite, and then you're trying to scrambling to find an opportunity to contest, it could just mean the end of the game.
Also da fehlen, boah, ja, 400 Gold-Leads. Actually schwierig, oder? Ich glaube, Canyon bekommt keinen GA für den Fight.
GENG set up for a lot of these objectives, getting this hostile takeover in the right spot. And I don't think T1 can actually start this up. Like, that's the awkward thing, is you do want to have control of the river, but you also don't want to be first.
Hat GENG genug sich verdeuert? Ich glaube, es kommt alles auf die Renata-Ulti an.
Ready for a Galio to land on top of you.
Also Spike-technisch fehlt da, guck mal, kein Death Stance, kein GA, kein Terminus. Also Sonjas fertig machen gibt nur Armor, aber Spot gerade sieht irgendwie komisch aus. Saru, danke für den 15.
Nearly has Death Stance, but doesn't. Canyon nearly has GA, but doesn't. Faker nearly has Rabadons, but doesn't. Feels kind of bad not being able to complete those.
Also da fehlen sehr harte Spikes.
Champions going into this Elder situation.
Yeah, 6 seconds. It doesn't matter what's in your inventory. You're still going to need to fight for it, because if you are back home, the bad guys will probably take the thing. Ruler, though, will be able to clear out this wave very comfortably. A whole bunch of captive audiences in the area, but not in the river right now, as GENG do move themselves back into that fog of war.
You know, we saw the last fight, even though Canyon did secure the dragon, he ended up going down pretty quick afterwards. The fact that he doesn't have the GA, if he gets targeted down and GENG lose their smite, it could be devastating for them. Now, T1 have kind of moved down through this bot lane, and we've seen Doran get Prio to allow them control of this area, but they just have no real vision on the
Das sieht mir nach einem Base für Terminus aus und Sonja und Deathcap. Oh wow, Deathcap. Okay. Okay, well, Spikes sind da.
Resets coming from GENG, and you see how the rest of the team are just trying to slow things down, hold the area, and get their completions in before the objective gets started.
That's crazy that he actually manages to go back and complete that. He only had one rod. I thought he was going to build his Zhonya's. He didn't. He had enough money to just complete the whole hat. He's still got guard sitting there.
Having Rabadons and Seekers just feels like a cheat code. It's like you got the benefit of both items.
Yeah, it's like the old items on his ring, which was just both. He is now going to get caught, though. Does use the arm guard that he picked up. Let's see what
kann aber nicht flashen. Oh mein Gott.
Is absolutely not T1.
Oh mein Gott.
To get the pick, and they'll get a free Olaf as well.
Oh my days. Wie zur Hölle ist er dann in den Ding reinkommen? Wie zur Hölle ist er dann in den Busch reinkommen?
Yeah, they're pinging the bottom side of the map, but they could take the purple worm if they feel like it. T1 now move to a gold lead.
Fred, danke für den 10. Wie zur Hölle ist er dann in ein Ding reinkommen?
Doran, such a good play, so similar to the pick he got into.
Oh, das ist der Stunt.
Earlier. The CC follow-up from Pays is there, and then we get the jump in from Carrier, but notably, Carrier saves the Hextech ultimatum, which just completely ruins Keen's day. Beautiful setup there. They're going to get Baron as well, and now GENG. They have an Ocean Soul, but they're playing into Baron and Elder. Ocean Soul really matters.
Doesn't feel that good anymore, as there is, you know, two Zodia picked up here by T1, and they'll now use it to take down all of these turrets. They've only taken 2 structures so far in this game. This gold lead, this Rebel Baron power play is going to be ridiculous here in this moment. That Death Dance is finally done here for Keen. Oh, feels a little bit too late, and oh my goodness,
he actually bought fire and then refunded it and then waited for the IE gold. So
Riesenproblem.
Can actually wait and have enough. But him having IE is massive. Faker now has the Rabadons. Yes, we've had spikes come in for GENG, but T1 is so strong. And
okay. Riesenproblem. Sache ist, wenn sie... Okay, also, angenommen, die stallen jetzt. Okay, die stallen jetzt den Eldout. Passt. Stallen Eldout aus. Into, maybe fighten, aber jetzt ist es so schwierig, die sind so durchgespiked. Deathcap fertig, dann LDR bald fertig bei Doran. Ja, wenn geht LDR, ja, das sind One-Shots in the making. Ultra schwierig, auch mit Soul, weil die Fights nicht, also die Fights gehen nicht so lange, dass es sich lohnen würde.
So now T1 just going to push on through. Doran on the top side of the map has already gotten an inner turret. Inner going to fall in the mid lane as well. The outer fell a while ago.
Rechts-Overlays Disco, stimmt. Ja, 40 Sekunden, also wahrscheinlich einen Hit Minimum, maybe zweiten.
I mean, that's the thing, with the last Baron, T1 hadn't taken that many structures. Now they get to pick up a bunch, get a ton of gold, and it's so hard for GENG to contest right now. 25 seconds on the Elder. That's the timer we're waiting for.
Ja, die müssen Elder warten. Auf jeden Fall, also macht T1 gut, da so hart rein zu pushen.
T1 are getting stronger and stronger right now.
Down based? Nee, wollte gerade sagen.
My goodness, how did it get to that point?
Noch kein LDR, also ich vermute mal, dass GENG jetzt Fight suchen sollte, wenn der Elder out ist.
Then T1 will not have that Elder buff anymore. GENG, they know it. Looking for a bit of an angle. T1 do not give it to them. And it seems like this tightrope is something that T1 have been built to walk.
So many structures being able to be picked up here by T1.
Ja, jetzt kommen die fetten Spikes, da habe ich LDR gesehen gerade.
And the thing is, they're going to feel comfortable as the game goes on. Doran even picked up an LDR there, which isn't a typical Vayne item, but will give him a lot of shred into these tankier champions on the side of GENG. That tumble auto will hit like a truck, even onto these bulkier targets.
And now, Chovy's got a broken arm guard. Kind of would have liked the Zhonya's if he knew that that's how things... Oh, never mind, he finishes the Zhonya's now. And so does have that stasis up and available for the next fight.
Damage war so schwierig, oder? Auch mit fertigem Sonja jetzt bei Galio. Da muss eigentlich ein One-Shot auf die Vayne kommen. Instant One-Shot auf die Vayne, oder sie können nicht gewinnen, glaube ich.
Yeah, this is the point where GENG can defend a bit more aggressively, because the Baron's obviously going to push in, but they can buy some
noch 5 Sekunden.
And T1 don't just auto-win any fight on the back of the Elder. They will be able to eventually push down this tower.
Oh, Kalista Jug schon. Item ist Skate super gut mit dem Kit. Main Damage kommt ja von deinen Speeren, nicht unbedingt von sonst was.
Things are looking pretty grim for GENG right now, but the game is still going. And there is going to be another Elder spawn in 2 minutes. Oh, not again!
Again, the shockwave is
aber okay.
At least Chovy goes.
Was macht mein Achter?
Even flash out of this, the answer is absolutely not. It's curtains for Chovy, and T1 find a pick. They might even be able to break open this bottom side of the base.
And Doran's just been playing this assassin role, hiding in these brushes, coming out with the condemn.
Zweimal so gecatcht werden ist crazy work.
Oh, he certainly has.
Ja, sie haben theoretisch für die eine Wave haben sie Renata Ulti, wenn sie die zünden wollen.
Struggle to find the advantages in these Olaf lanes. I guess I hadn't seen what Doran was capable of.
Vayne ist Lobby-Admin, Vayne ist nicht nur der Lobby-Admin, Vayne ist der Lobby-Admin, ja.
Like Timo, and it's working so well.
Oh man, and he's also 10 out of 11 as far as kill participation is concerned. That is not
als nächstes.
That's often very high.
Yeah.
You know, you're generally the one in a side lane while the rest of your team are doing stuff.
I love how the fact like Faker's recalling and then cancels it to hit the... Like, it looks so like Oh, there's a wave. I guess I'll just cancel my recall. It feels so set up. And then once again, Ona flies in with the ultimate. Pays opens up with the curtain call. That was some great acting. That was Oscar level.
Yeah, well, I need to
not Jay.
Away here, but they do call
Actually?
And now hostile takeover comes in, hits onto 3.
Okay, no joke. Der Kick hat es gerade so fast ruiniert, weil ich glaube, diese Vayne, wenn die im Hostile Takeover ist, one-shottet den Panther komplett.
Someone needs to build a McHale's.
Unfortunately for GENG, that was actually a decent.
Also Doran muss definitiv eigentlich einen Jay haben.
So even though the rest of the team did a lot of setup to make that a potential good fight, without the 5 members.
Da muss eigentlich definitiv ein QSS kommen, weil wenn der einmal Renata holt, wird der one-shot das komplette Team.
Backing away, and now 15 seconds on that Elder, and no hostile takeover available for Duro. That massive tool not on the cards.
This is a scary one.
Auch keine geile Ult hier.
Grouped up, they are still very frightening. Let's see what T1 can actually make happen here as GENG defending this mid wave. Does have the supers coming down.
Wird das Scaling noch ein Ding? Also für T1 wird es angenehmer, der Fight, würde ich behaupten, ja.
See what he can find. Spotting out Doran there on that flank angle is definitely a good idea as Canyon was.
Na, die Renata-Ulti hat noch locker 30 Sekunden.
Spotted out once again here as the blast cone does get owner over there. And now the kickback onto the Pantheon, but they've taken out the Lee Sin once again. They're going to get separated and executed as Duro trying to get some shields onto
Wow.
He just wants
Er ist zu schnell. Sie können nicht catchen. Impossible.
decent, but there's the curtain call. Carrier goes in, flashes out, smoke and mirrors here from T1. Justice punch onto Owner, and they will get him down to the GA. But Keen is just running for his life as Faker is looking to get on top of him and will be able to take it.
Oh, wait, what?
Pops around the battle
What?
and takes out the remainder of T1. Carrier and
What the fuck?
for the hills. And GENG, I mean, they can take an Elder if they like, but my God, I don't think we're gonna.
Okay, warte, ich brauche sofort nochmal das Replay. Was zur Hölle ist da passiert? Also ich habe nur eine fette Renata-Ulti gesehen, ja. Ich meine, sie können ihn easy machen.
So long and the death time is 40 seconds. Canyon's up in 10, and with an Ocean Soul, they're just gonna sustain up off this Elder.
And Ruler's got Randuins and Jack shows, but he's actually a tank.
Okay.
Enduro, I was watching during that fight, the hostile takeover.
Also, dass die Renata-Ulti abkam, war halt super klatsch im Fight noch.
Such insane value from it. This was a fight that I felt like.
So, jetzt zeig mal her.
They pick off Canyon.
I mean, ist ein guter Catch auf Canyon.
And he gets stunned, even tries to get the control ward down, but the root from Pays is massive. They commit a lot of resources to take him out with a shockwave as
Okay,
well.
der geht dafür und flasht.
Ruler, but creates a lot of chaos, baits out the ult from Keen. Then as they kite out, you can see the time ticking on Duro's ult.
Okay, die Sache ist, Orianna rennt jetzt Keen runter, richtig.
We see great peel onto the Pantheon who jumps on a Ruler. Ruler is pretty bulky.
Und jetzt kommt Renata-Ulti halt ab.
Duro, the ult's back up, and look at
Oh, schön eingeflasht, wow. Und auch geil von Chovy nochmal, wie er Ding rausgenommen hat.
The side gets hit by it, and it just instantly turns the fight in GENG's favor. And now they're onto this Baron. It's reverse. Earlier we saw Elder and Baron going over to T1. This time GENG take it, and they have the soul as well.
Yep, this is real Exodia to come through from GENG as they do also have that Ocean Soul completed.
So.
Down to 18 health, which
Wie machen wir's?
that's frightening.
Yeah.
Weil ich sehe nämlich Double Sum, also ich sehe eine Menge Flashes down bei GENG. Das heißt, die Fights sind nicht leicht.
Because he was holding his ult for a long time, so they held the Baron. And even though it sounds really minor,
Kina TP.
but an extra
Geh in die Mitte, Bot.
10, 15
Sieht so aus, ne?
his ult board by stalling them out makes a big difference when you have to stall out against this mega push.
And now it's GENG's turn. Let's see whether this is going to work. You don't have Keen there. He does have teleport up and available. He's just
Stimmt, warte mal, Nulli Sin hat Flash. What the fuck?
top wave stacking
Stimmt,
up as
Nulli Sin hat Flash. Hey, wait.
dealt with mid and bot lane. They should have that wave moving.
Kein QSS bei Doran.
As oh my.
Diese Static in the Static.
Elder is disgusting.
That is not allowed, man.
Wie war Renata und Elder? Betritt der Elder-Buff nur, wenn das Gegnerteam Elder hat.
I guess that's
Also, meine ich.
Yeah. That being said,
I'm gonna start playing Kalista now.
Aber I guess Renata kann supplyen und die killen sich dann, wenn sie unter den Threshold kommen. Und dann noch Burn von Renata.
Their waves were not in phenomenal positions.
and Keen has just had to push this entire bot wave.
Yeah.
So T1 doing a good job of stalling, buying time. They'll lose this tier 2, but it's a very small price to pay. 30 seconds is what T1 need to buy before they can look for a fight. They might end up sacrificing this tower mid.
Canyon is going to get pushed away. This tower.
Ich sage es, wenn eine Renata-Ulti auf diese Vayne trifft, die haut ihr ganzes Team dumm und dämlich.
And it looks like the inhibitor is going to be made short work of.
Oh, they're losing a bit more though. It's still 12 seconds and they have to lose another inhibitor. At least the tower. Yeah, I think the inhibitor's just gone, so big cost there. 5 seconds on the Elder.
GENG still pushing forward. And look at that, the Winds of War just tags Doran and he takes so...
Ja, die Arbeit mit Canyon. Die Frage ist, wann kommt die Renata-Ulti, weil erster Next Shot ist down. Ja, die können immer noch siegen in einer Minute. Und die sind so stark mit der Soul auch.
Baron still up and available for another minute. And now Canyon taking a fair bit there.
Shockwave.
He's still got his GA.
Ja, jetzt wird gepressured, ne?
Yeah, Ocean Soul as well.
Ruler hat wieder Cleanse Up. Nächste Waves, schaut die nächsten Waves, die jetzt kommen.
Now the ult from the Jhin.
Yeah, Curtain Call does
Und Doran hat auch schon geultet, was?
soften up the members of GENG.
Ja, und die haben immer noch eine Soul, 40 Sekunden, jetzt können die siegen, ne?
Cooldown's been by T1. 3 major ultimates unavailable.
Ja.
GENG in a real position of power now.
Yeah, and Ruler just able to bounce around this fight. Doran and Faker.
Wann kommt die Renata-Ulti? Werden sie die Renata-Ulti überhaupt produktiv benutzen?
As T1 just doing their very best to deal with these waves.
Ist gut, dass Galli auf Top ist. Ja, die nächsten Waves kommen.
Ruby deals with that one. And with 3 siege
20 Sekunden.
and 20 seconds.
Ja, und die haben 3 Waves jetzt. Ich glaube, die finishen.
Inhibitors down and only one Nexus tower to defend. Oh, the kick!
Geiler Kick. Geiler Kick.
Immediately the bottom lane is being taken out of GENG. They've decided
Großartig.
one is theirs.
Geiles Game.
Will be out again.
Großartig.
Real quick, there goes the Nexus.
Puh.
One absolute barn burner for game
Banger Game.
one. And we'll
Also wirklich sehr, sehr geiles Game.
back to guarantee 3.
We need 3 games of this. We
Oh, we do.
need 3 games of this. An absolute banger. So many phenomenal plays in this singular game, and we still have this series.
Geil.
Canyon, who was getting caught out earlier in the game, finds his phenomenal kick to end it. Jiro, the hostile takeover was excellent. And Doran on this Vayne did so much work to make it close, to make it down to the wire. But in the end, I think GENG's usage of those buffs, the Baron, the patience,
War ein sehr geiles Game.
disengagement,
War ein super geiles Game.
brought them the ability to push in and end the game. But this game was really down to the wire at multiple points.
Yes, so incredibly back and forth between these two teams. I think it is so poetic that it's Canyon.
Wenn ihr aktiv Fußball schaut,
play.
dann joint doch bei der Kicktipp-Runde, die wir hier haben im Stream. Ist kostenlos. Es gibt Gewinne für Platz 1 bis 5. Hier im Chat ist der Link. Wir haben noch 146 Slots frei, also 300 ist Maximum. Einzige Voraussetzung ist, spielt. Na, also schaut, joint gerne, aber ja, Voraussetzung ist, dass ihr auch aktiv spielt. Das wäre super. Also aktiv schaut. Wladimir und Timan ist gewonnen. Timan ist gewonnen.
Hayes and Ruler are the guys, and Ruler's the one that takes it, picks up the win. Now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for us to take a short break. And we'll have space to break down game number 1 before we get out to game number 2.
Geil. Super entertaining First Game. Super entertaining First Game, wirklich. Voll einfach jetzt für einen 85er Streak. Lass für den Urlaub gut gehen. Ist eine neue Gruppe, weil bei der WM wussten wir halt nicht, wie viele Leute aktiv sind und so, weißt du? Das ist immer ein bisschen schwierig. Und dann ist am Ende die Hälfte der Spots halt vergeben an Leute, die inaktiv sind. Das wäre auch scheiße. To be honest, also, es ist schwer, du kannst Doran nicht wirklich flamen in diesem Game hier. Weil seine Picks haben es eigentlich nur, seine Picks ermöglichen, dass du halt gewinnst, ne? Oder dass du gewinnen kannst, to be honest, die beiden Picks auf Chovy. Doran kann man immer flamen, siehst du, das ist valid. Aber jetzt für das Game spezifisch ist schwierig.
탑라인 지켜줘. 탑 대포 3개. 이번에 바로 막턴이거든. 이번에 세게 할래?
확인. 지금 나가자. 가자. 진 높을. 야, 나이스.
아, 장로 때좀 아깝다.
야, 이 판 이렇게 힘들게 이기네. 우리.
좀 더 빨리 했어. 이거 잘 나오긴 했다 근데.
나이스.
Kurz der LPL-Draft mitnehmen. Wir sind noch nicht im Draft. Not yet. Da geht's Game 3. Interesting. Tolkien gemeint, weil Berlin Drecksinternet hat. Ach, scheiße, ja, gut, er ist den höheren Mächten. Er ist den höheren Mächten ausgeliefert. Deutsches Internet. Frag mich auch, wenn das jetzt. I mean, to be fair, das war auch eine relative Go-In-Comp von T1, also da Kalista Renan zu picken ist schon cool. Dum, dum. Ja, zweites Game ist Bros heute? Ich glaube, das zweite Game ist Bros, ne? Bro gegen KRX. Haben aber in der LPL eigentlich ganz geile Matchups heute. Also IG gegen Weibo werde ich, glaube ich, über den Bros schauen, beispielsweise. Das sollte auch hinkommen, wenn jetzt hier GENG den Sack zumacht. Dann schauen wir IG gegen Weibo und danach Top Esports gegen EG. Weiß ich nicht, ob wir das schauen, aber also, je nachdem, was läuft halt, ne? Ja, JG jedes Jahr noch schlechter, I mean. Well, da einige Probleme, aber to be fair, ein LGD, also wie gesagt, ein LGD oder auch ein TT in der Lower-Gruppe ist nicht verkehrt. In der Upper-Gruppe, meine ich. Also, die gewinnen Games, right? So, die gewinnen nicht oft Series, aber die gewinnen Games und das ist decent. Ey, außerdem meine komplette, no joke, ich muss legit der Hälfte der Leute unfollowen auf Twitter. Also wie viele Leute von Polymarket gesponsert sind inzwischen, das ist so cringe. Oder die Sheep Esports und so retweeten, ne? Die halt auch von denen gesponsert sind, das ist so unglaublich cringe, ey. So cringe.
쉽게 가자. 부드럽게 쓱 매끈하게 싹 면도 쓱싹 해치웠다. 질레트 랩 스티프.
Polymarket ist eine Webseite quasi. Der Poly echt krank Müll. Ich meine, da wird halt immer die posten halt jede Müll-Headline. Draft in der LPL läuft, wenn du Bock hast. Wir können Draft anschauen. Also wir werden das Game nicht anschauen, aber wir können Draft anschauen. Why not?
When I was a player, if I was to like make a misplay, maybe it's my mouse, maybe it's my armrest, something feels wrong. If you were at home, you wouldn't do that.
The Infinite Precision Armrest is part of the larger Circulab on Stage standard initiative, aimed to bring your home or training room settings to the tournament.
Varus First Pick, weiß ich nicht, ob ich das so geil finde. 나야.
세팅을 더 원활하게 할 것 같고
가장 편안할 때 더 강력한 플레이가 자연스럽게 나옵니다.
Sehr amtliches Projekt und Volumen ist halt Geld. I guess das ist alles Geldfrage, right? Also ist es deswegen nicht human? Nein, ist es nicht. Aber da ist ja unglaublich dumm viel Geld drin. Also für eine Armrest, ich meine, du kriegst ja die Sponsoren von dem Ding voll drauf, das ist schon smartes Design. Das ist schon smartes Design, to be honest. Nach 4 Receiver 1-2 sieht auch komisch aus, ne?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the space. Man, I am fired up after that game. We've got two of our best teams in the LCK going head-to-head and playing to the limit, as it is ultimately GENG taking that one 1-0 over T1. Digon here alongside Wolf and Hooney. What a way to kick off that final home ground match there for T1.
At the end of the day, GENG get the win, but
Da setze ich mir den Reminder für den Kicktipp, du kannst die App runterladen auf dein Handy und dann bekommst du 24 Stunden Pre-Spieltag eine Notification. So habe ich es zum Beispiel. Jacks auf 3.
We had that final fight. We're going to look at it a little bit later on where, you know, T1 were in so much control. They had the kill on a Canyon. I think this has got to be morale-wise moving into Game 2. You're at your own home ground, but you lost Game 1 when you should have...
Den TF jetzt gestern bei SK gebraucht. So ein kleiner TF Toplane tatsächlich.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
Na, Wurstis.
even though it was like single game, I could say like it was
Na, Wurstis.
quite a series, you know, like it was so many back and forth, and as what I also said, like I think the both team had a momentum that they should close the game right this moment.
Yeah, let's dive into the story of this one, starting off early on how things worked out for GENG, but it started with stopping a gank by T1 here.
Yeah, so T1 initially go for this play here on the bottom side, but Ru was able to buy some space and get away. They get the Fate's Call, so that's a big one they are able to get here. Canyon's not able to come over and punish, but the big story here is T1 think that they've gotten enough out of this to force a fight here.
Yeah, the fact that they used the Pantheon ulti, and you have to see the Kalista has no sums. That's why the T1 actually saw the opportunity. But the thing is, like, the fact that Renata actually still has the ulti, like, from the last gang, that he actually saved it, the Renata ulti. That was the most key fact that they actually overforced, and they just used the Renata ulti, and it's just wiped down.
Burst Free von LGD besser.
It wasn't the last time this game we'll see T1 kind of run headfirst into that Renata ultimate, but I think that miscalculation
Und alles ruiniert.
about being up is why they took that fight, but they all went straight into a choke point and got obliterated.
And that was after Ruler already outplayed the initial gank on the bottom side of the map to get him ahead. Now GENG very much ahead, so they take control of things here and are stacking.
Nee, Carrier-Vertrag geht doch, die hatten doch irgendwann einen Vertrag-Ding bei der letzten Homeshow oder sowas gemacht, oder nicht? Stift, danke für den 16. Ich glaube, Carrier ist auch locked, oder nicht? Es ist, glaube ich, nur Toplane, der nicht locked ist. Dann geben sie alles, aber die ist interessant, ne?
To goes like just slowly with the Orianna ball, like creating the zone, and after that they be able to get the Baron. That actually helps so much for T1 there.
I think they should have just been willing to drop the first target, right? Chovy ults in.
Also sie geben alles da und nah, das kann nicht wahr sein. Was ist das? Ey, ich schwöre, es ist so wie das Shopify-Game gestern, das ist ja so endgeil wieder. Das ist ja so geil. Was machen die denn da? Sagt mal, Freunde. Also ich mag den LGD doch mehr.
This is what we've normally seen, and ultimately it comes down to one massive team fight in the mid lane after Canyon gets caught.
Yeah, I mean, for GENG, since the T1 is actually...
Aber so ein bisschen Bird nach Execution bei LGD. Top 3 EU-Player gerade. Also wirklich europäische Spieler oder Spieler, die in der LEC spielen. Ja. Ich glaube, LGD gewinnt, aber wer weiß.
GENG is still, the strongest member is still alive.
Duro, his ultimate comes back up. He flashes here, and when he hits Pays, it's done. Because it means Ruler kills Pays, and there's no more damage. The rest of T1 on the wrong side of the fight. Faker can't carry, he doesn't have the consistent damage, and it's Duro again who gets that ultimate online, has that game-winning
LEC.
If he doesn't hit Pays, the flash ultimate is avoided. Then Pays, I think, can help push Ruler out there.
Caps, Yahoo.
Win the fight, probably win the game, but instead, he's able to make that play that changes everything. And in this composition for T1, I think they didn't play around the Renata ultimate as well as they really needed to.
Yeah, Hooney, who's jumped out at you for the opposite side for T1?
Und
there were many moments there for both teams.
I mean, I mean, this is like for sure. Like I
Und
said in the middle of the series, middle of the game. This
Dritter.
was the best game for Doran Vayne. He actually solo carries so many momentum, and I was like so hyped for it. But at the last, just like one time.
Koreaner. Ja, vielleicht kann er.
Again, it was just a game of inches here. It ultimately
Alles
goes
Reis.
the way of GENG in game number 1. Let's
Gumbo.
send it back on over to the casters for game number 2. To your point, Hooney, regardless of the result, that was still an unbelievable game from Doran. He played so well, and nothing can take it away from him.
Yeah,
Let's see whether they can back it up with a win this time around.
Let's get it.
Give him what he deserves.
Best Teemo game I've seen in the LCK.
Best Teemo game cosplaying as Vayne that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I've literally never seen anything like that before, ever before. And it's been many years commentating this game. So let's see what he's going to do. Least, okay, this is the crazy part, Ox. I know it's Fearless, but he might be able to play Teemo twice in a row.
It's true. He could just bring it out. I think going into this next draft,
Wie viele Tore fängt die Schalke heute? Also ich sag mal, alles unter 4 wäre
being available.
gut. Oder ne? Also alles unter 4 wäre auch sehr komisch.
Oriana's already gone. Cassiopeia probably going to get banned, you would expect.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, is that Rise is still up, but the Cassio is actually still up and available as well. So I think the bans are going to be pretty telling as to which teams do want to take that, as T1 choose second pick this time around.
So puts a lot more weight on.
Was haben wir zum Silas-Streamen für JEG? I mean, das ist ein bisschen unserious.
You know GENG would love to just slam that Rise first.
Also die Na-Ulti ist super strong.
T1 Manager
Alles der Ulti, wenn du gesiegt wirst von einem TF beispielsweise, das ist ein bisschen fake as fuck.
handle these bans.
Aber, ja, also da muss irgendwas anderes geben. Es muss irgendwas anderes geben.
Like, I really do like games.
Pick? That's crazy.
I know, unheard of. I haven't seen something like that since last time it happened, and all
Also Abfahrt.
a few years ago. But GENG, let's see what they are going to be banning away first.
Hallo Benny.
First pick Rise,
Oh,
might
grüne
be on
Birne.
the cards depending on what
Grüße.
they can actually take away. But T1 obviously have a plan. We'll see what they do want to put into effect when that does actually come through.
If there's an LCK fan who was in a coma until this moment, and they just wake up and they see second pick for T1 on that side, they're like, well, of course.
Tangi hat da gerade ein Meeting gemacht. Oh mein Gott, da wurde einfach gerade Level 2 Solo-Kills.
LCK watch is
Level 3
just
Solo-Kills.
dumber over and over, like, over time. It's crazy. As there's that Cassiopeia ban that we were talking about, but it's T1 that do take it away. Wonder what that means, as it's the same bans here from GENG, just Brad and Lucian, both taken away. The Vi also going to be removed.
So Poppy not taken away, Nocturne not taken away yet. Shen was also banned last time but hasn't been yet.
Yep.
A lot of things mounting up that have to be dealt with, or we'll end up probably getting
You already übrigens approved? Okay.
Well,
Dann
let's see what this next
feuerfrei.
one's going to be from GENG.
Dann feuerfrei.
The Nocturne to be taken away. So
Taking the
I'll see
Nocturne
that.
away from Owner, and I feel like you have this freedom when you're
Wie groß ist die Damage Reduction auf Level 16 alle Ulti? Ich glaube 80%, aber ich schaue nach.
very good picks in the meta,
70 bis
but
80% hätte ich
extremely good
geschätzt.
picks specifically
75,
for
okay.
Owner, Pays, and Carrier.
Yeah. I think the
Was ist noch offen?
right now for these players.
Jarvan bleibt jetzt offen.
Taken away, mainly looking at Owner and the fact
Hoppy ist auch offen.
fantastic. Here's Lee Sin, needs no introduction. So getting rid of that Nocturne is the
Level 50, nein, die scaled komplett OP. Auf Level 16. Level 16 ist 75%.
This is the really interesting thing about Fearless is that
35,
in
55,
game
75,
two,
glaube ich.
after Olaf's been played, the Jace then becomes incredibly high value.
Yeah, Olaf and Vayne being gone, but Poppy left open, Shen left open, but Rise also there, but they actually opt to prioritize the Ezreal instead for Ruler here.
Interesting.
He's very confident.
Hoppy, Jarvan, beides offen.
And no Jhin, which we've often seen into it to match up to it. There's obviously a lot of AD carry options available for Pays. This does kind of put the emphasis on T1 being able to pick a variety of those picks we just talked about.
There is also, I know a lot of people are going to grimace when I do say this, but the Ziggs is available, and the Shen there as well. But instead, Karma looks to be picked away. Karma Caitlyn would be a dominating lane if they do want to pick that one up. They don't necessarily have to take the Caitlyn now. They
Was geht, GENG, wenn Karma Takeaway kommt?
Yeah, I feel like Sivir Karma is also good, but you don't want to pick
Ja, sie müssen fast Leona gehen, oder?
Jarvan comes through.
Just Karma's in. I think seems like a pretty solid core.
Yeah. I think that's
Oh, da sie gehen Rakan, actually sie gehen Rakan Loki, oder? Und Fizz und scheißen auf Lane.
to have the option of it.
Yep.
They're just gonna go Caitlyn for now.
Oder sie gehen Seraphine.
High pressure lane, obviously nice.
Sie können alle, also Rakan wäre so mehr Duro.
Set up the trap from the Caitlyn.
Sie können auch Seraphine gehen, auf Lane scheißen.
To
Oder, Entschuldigung, sie können Seraphine gerne noch ein bisschen länger contesten wollen. Oder Nico. Oh, ich hasse Nico so sehr. Aber ja, Amen. Sie könnten auch Nico gehen, ja. Nico, Rakan, Seraphine, die drei. Was mit Joel? Pike. Wenn das Game verlieren wir, also, ja.
The Jarvan, though, is going to be the decision instead. And will GENG, like,
Ich glaube, mir gefällt Seraphine mehr als Rakan.
theoretically could try to fight this lane somewhat, but I think you still just get so heavily outranged by the Caitlyn. Can still be quite difficult, and you just have no control of the wave.
I'm not sure what you could pick that's range right now that really make this more comfortable.
That is the Seraphine.
Okay,
they're going to try it.
Yeah, they're going to give it a go. Not as easy to set things up as like the Ashe Seraphine, but they want something that can match the
Eine Sache ist Karma Caitlyn.
of this Kate Karma. So
Die Lane ist stark, aber ich finde, da kannst du halt mit viel mehr wegkommen,
they've had to make do with
als jetzt gegen Caitlyn Lux. Gegen Caitlyn Lux, also da wirst du halt, das ist halt Gangbang. Also da wirst du halt geknallt.
Encore can do a pretty similar thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that giving Duro this kind of responsibility feels pretty good at this moment, but it's going to be a Demacian jungle experience here as the Xin Zhao will be locked in. I've always been a bit of an advocate for the Xin Zhao Karma combination, and T1 are going to represent that one here.
Yep, and neither team really having a look in at all towards the solo lanes now. You know, we talked about the Ryze before, but no attention has been paid to that yet. We've often seen Ryze be matched by Syndra, so could see bans towards those just to try and thin out the pool. And it is T1 with second pick, so they'll obviously get first choice coming out of this rotation. And then also the prospect of counter pick, which is a lot of value here.
Yeah, looking to force the Ryze ban with that Anivia ban there is what I assume they're going to go for. See what the GENG does give it to them. I think Victor is still something that's relatively strong, especially given how robust these compositions are. Not a whole lot's given away, a lot of front to back.
Okay. Syndra, Ryze für Mitte offene.
I feel like for GENG,
Ryze raus.
rumble value isn't
Syndra, Victor.
composition. So if they can set up a way to get their hands on that, it would be ideal. T1, if they want it, would kind of have to pick on 4 as a blind, which, I mean, we've seen...
Oh, warte mal, bei GEG spielt Junji ja nicht. Wait, what the fuck?
But if you are on second pick, you want to lean into...
Talia, finde ich nicht so super.
Cassante is still up and available if you do want to pick something into it. Does also give you just a tank to play out these front to backs that both of these compositions would like. I think Cassante actually fits the T1 composition pretty well, but the Gnar is going to be what T1 do remove. Keen not going to have access to that one. There's some side laning.
Gnar schreit aber erstmal nicht Rumble, right?
Well, but his Ambassador is still up and available. I think that is something worth giving a look. Just because Doran...
Wie kann man das Overlay deaktivieren? Also im Normalfall hier rechts im Stream draufklicken und dann auf Off, aber ich weiß nicht, ob man es permanent ausmachen kann. Ich glaube mit 7TV geht's.
Yeah, I think if you ban the Ambassador here for GENG, obviously gets
Kannst du das First Ban gewesen bei
Slam Rumble on 4. This time though,
was sagt uns Lock? Weil die meisten Control Mages sind raus, right? Victor? Victor Syndra? I guess, ja.
Will T1 pick that up now? They actually go to Chef, which is a flex in this situation if they lock this in.
Das hätte ja sein, ich würde wahrscheinlich eher Rumble picken.
Guessing for the time being, we've seen a little bit of TF top lane when the situation calls for it, but not a ton.
Problem ist Rumble, dann packst du einen TF rein und das Matchup ist sehr gut.
Destiny Gate really strong and the Crescent Guard is kind of ridiculous.
It's good value,
you're able to get your
Problem ist Rumble gegen Karma auch nicht so geil, aber Rumble mit Java natürlich geil. Aber gibt's einen besseren Blind-Pick? Wahrscheinlich nicht, oder? Außer du willst Cassante blinden. Aber Cassante into TF picken ist auch Suicide, also es muss Rumble werden, oder?
Which, as it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, is a relevant thing to talk about. As Cassante going to be locked in, that might help.
Ne, keine Akali. Syndra oder Victor?
Show me the fizz.
Syndra oder Victor wird's.
Is there a chance?
I don't think so. I think he has a lot of options
Zeka
available.
did it. He did it. It
yeah,
happened.
but Zeka is the melee guy.
I mean, Chovy played Aatrox and stuff.
Ja.
Syndra makes a lot more sense.
Aww.
Ja, jetzt packen sie TF Toplane und dann Last Pick.
A lot of great scatter the weeks recently. BDD
und dann Last Pick Mitte, right?
Syndra not too long ago.
He did.
And Chovy, someone who hasn't really lent on Syndra heavily in his career, playing more recently.
Ich sehe jetzt spontan keinen Toplane, den ich besser sehe als
Yeah. Assuming the TF is just going to go mid. And if it is, what are we going to get from Duran in the top lane?
Gegen Syndra kann es fast alles gehen. Nichts ist so super gut, weil Champion einfach sehr gut scaled, aber ja, Kali ist ein guter Call. An die Angst vor Lockblind auf 4? Nee. Es ist TF Mitte am besser Toplane.
This is a pretty comfortable composition here for T1.
Finde ich auch, also.
TF competitively longer than any other mid laner in the world.
Okay.
I remember way back, there was this quote from Faker where he said, every mid laner should know how to play TF and Ryze. Ryze, just like you learn.
Finde ich jetzt nicht total verkehrt.
Yeah, it was like the map presence. And he learned that a long time ago. I think the ability to set up either of these side lanes for success. You have a Kate Karma who want to be aggressive. You have an Ambessa who you want to be strong in team fights. And TF has the ability to lean to either of those. But I am a little bit worried about the pressure that Chovy is going to apply in the lane. And when it comes to team fights, the power of like the Cataclysm Encore with the Scatter of the Weeks, I think are pretty fierce.
Ja, Kette mit LDA knallt hier halt später rein, ne? Also.
Dynamic duo, the famous hip-hop duo here in Korea. And they're in the audience. They did the opening ceremony performance here today. Going back to what we were talking about before, the fact that these home grounds are so fun to be at. And so just a bit cool. Have them on screen, have them here able to chill out and watch the game immediately afterwards. As you can see, the KSPO Dome is full here, ready for game number 2. Seeing whether T1 can bring us to that third game. I have a
T1 win here.
composition should be capable of doing so. As GENG make their way out, see whether they can
Unrealistisch ist es nicht.
one out and deny it.
Würde definitiv sagen, Burden of Execution liegt hier bei GENG.
All right, GENG fans finding their voices here in game number 2, or at least I gave them space to find them this time around. I'll give myself a pat on the back for that one. Owner going to be using his own skin. I don't know whether Duro is using Carrier's skin.
Warte, wo laufen wir hin?
Kind of cute. Chovy could also use Faker's skin.
Er spottet, oder? Er wurde spotted.
Yeah, and it makes sense. You have a Karma. Canyon's trying to match though, and
Was?
oh, this is a terrible spot to be in. He might just be doomed.
Yeah, I don't know where is he supposed to go now?
Next.
Well, he's going to give him the good old thumbs up as he does take a turret shot. There's the flash. Can he make it to the blast cone?
Okay, I darf sie nicht nehmen.
Not even going to press it. Oh, this is pretty good. Yeah, so it's first blood over to Pace.
The reason he didn't blast cone was because he was one auto from death, and if he got locked in the auto animation, he would have just died.
Yeah.
So try to be cheeky about it, and he is obviously completely screwed in the jungle.
Yes.
But Pace is very late to bot lane. He has picked up the cull here, but in the meantime, obviously, push the wave in and put on a ton of pressure.
What happened here in this top lane? That was hitting each other with stuff. Duro has taken care of his skin, which is kind of cute. It is a pretty cool one.
Well,
Yeah, gut, ne? That's fucking funny.
Forced owner away. Come back to his side of the map. He has 3 camps to kill, and then the scuttle will spawn. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the when it's good for Canyon part.
No, it's never good for Canyon, but at least he has something to do for the time being.
Well, er hat 3 Camps und hat die Top-Crap. Ey, das ist ja, also...
I think a big factor was
Something.
having a lot of prio on the top lane. If you try to invade on the top side, you could just get shut down. So...
Going to be teleporting back in here, as we can see. Doran actually sticking around, taking a little bit of damage here. Is nice little trade there from Ruler. Duro with the surround sound there to make sure that he stays safe. And right now the trading looking pretty good here for the Seraphine and the Ezreal.
Yeah, the level advantage goes a long way. And Pace went Ghost as well, which did help him land that kill and is a good amount of value in teamfights, but in lane, not nearly as much power compared to like a barrier.
Well, that's what Ruler's taken, so it might give them a little bit of an opportunity here. Not going to let the beat drop is Duro, as the Essence Flux also goes wide, but so does the Q from Carrier. And GENG will just push on up. Canyon will be able to get a Krug camp. That's something. Also got the Scuttle. Oh man, he's fine. By fine, I mean he's going to lose his Raptors again.
Yeah,
ja, Reinvade ist gut von Owner natürlich, ne? Kann hier machen, was er will. Hallo, Rollo. Also Reinvade ist sehr, 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 sehr gut sogar.
Especially those respawn camps give so much XP.
Yep. Well, He is going to be taking that one down. Canyon now moving towards his bottom side. Is that Krug Camp going to be next on the menu? He's pinging it.
Yeah, he knows how to siphon away Doran's power by targeting the Krugs.
Yeah, see, that's what you got to do. He's taken 2 Krugs now. So many Krugs. Way more Krugs than Owners.
Er ist sogar okay XP-technisch, oder? Weil er bekommt jetzt die Respawn-Krugs, er bekommt Respawn-Wolves und Respawn-Gromp. Er ist okay XP-technisch, also... Ja, big fucking joke. Die Jungle-Rolle. Aber not bad, ey, not bad. Kann ich aber die Raptor von Owner invaden nicht so leicht. Weil er halt 1-1 hart verliert. Was er hart verliert, aber TF hat auch First Move. Nicht so leicht. Oh, er hat die Krugs nicht gemacht. Warte, bist du sicher?
Ja.
Bin ich am Trippen? Warte, die Krugs sind ihm doch nachgelaufen, als er Mitte Level... Aber er war Level 2, du hast recht. Ja, klar, er hat die Krugs nicht gemacht. Du hast vollkommen recht, ja, na klar. Ja, du hast vollkommen recht, ja. Der kleine Krog ist ihm aber nachgelaufen, ja, genau. Nein, er hat vollkommen recht. Naja, er ist fein, also er ist ein Camp XP, den ist down. Sie werden wahrscheinlich den Drake geben und bekommen dafür erste Krabbe. Was denkst du, wer gewinnt? Also mir gefällt Genji's Execution heute.
Wow, you may have, but humor me. Can you please tell me about the stats that you just get for skilling up the ultimate, like right now?
Yeah, so you get free armor pen and healing.
Wow.
From doing that. Healing on your abilities.
Weiß ich glaube sehr viel Execution. Wie sah Game 1 aus? Sehr umkämpft. Aber eigentlich war es ein sehr gutes Game für Genji.
Faker gonna have the power unleashed upon him, but it will not kill him. And the Drake does go over to T1. Looking for a bit of a reset here, but Faker with no flash will be susceptible. Oh, Keen getting some vision down. Oh, this jockeying for position is just
ja, also XP-technisch ist even. Plus er bekommt die Top Cap, also ist also ist Canyon de facto ahead. Das ist funny. Jetzt nicht mehr. Guter Play.
Yeah, they go for this play when Canyon was so far away. Keen kind of overplaying his
2v2 mit der Jungle. Es ist favored für Genji. Wenn sie den TF-Fokus bekommen.
Of course, the TF is just going to answer with the ultimate, so pretty costly.
Yeah, a bit of a weird moment there as Ruler getting some Mystic shots off.
Wow. Das Pace Q-Placement ist immer so krass, ne? Also wirklich so krass.
And Ruler
wow.
Shifting forward. I don't know about that one. Flash does get him out, but he still gets snare. True Shot Barrage goes entirely wide. There's that barrier that's going to be used here, but one more.
Jetzt, also, ja. Schreit Game 3. Nach 4 TF, ja.
Consider how this lane started.
Schreit Game 3.
In a scenario where he was down XP and was just getting harassed out. And
weil die Frage ist, wo möchtest du denn...
Ruler there, and here we see King go for the play because Canyon's in the vicinity, but Canyon still has to walk all the way around. Careful is popped, and Canyon's like, you know what?
Wo willst du hier angreifen auf der Map at this point jetzt?
And he was.
And here, so Ruler's lower from taking that Peacemaker earlier. He arcane shifts in, thinking the level 6 spike is big, but Carrier flashes to keep the tether in range. The trap doesn't come through in time, unfortunately, but they're just able to run Ruler down, even with the barrier there. It's not enough to keep him alive. Bit of a misplay from Ruler, but it's just a phenomenal punish from T1.
Yeah, really nicely played. Carrier just, he was waiting for it.
Mit der TF Flash down, ja, wenn du Numbers hast oder Even Numbers hast, dann ist möglich. Problem ist nur, dass die Mercs halt schon echt nasty sind. Ich glaube, es ist besser, ich glaube, es ist tatsächlich besser, wenn Chovy so den Wave State hält und aggressiv punisht, statt sich mit Absicht reinpushen zu lassen. Weil dann kann der TF ja theoretisch immer sagen, yo, fuck Lane, ist mir scheißegal, ich gehe jetzt einfach für Roams schauen. Und fistet damit dann die Map.
Times. Owner looking for an angle.
Could never beat a dead horse in the LCK.
No, never. We're always about new things.
Supports move in equal time.
Owner going to be able to take at least one of these and then just bypass, looking for an angle towards the top.
Canyon bekommt zuerst Smite ab, 2 Smite.
Really up for Canyon, so I think he just gets this.
Well, there it is. Just smites that one away. Chovy's moving
Oh.
up. And here is an all-out.
Oh, der ist tot.
Just pulls Ona through the small wall.
Da haben wir den Engel.
Just gonna knock him down.
Okay.
Yeah, really well played.
Alright.
The angle from Keen just to catch Ona off guard. Now he'll go for a heavy.
Und mit Red Buff
And the red buff.
Yeah, actually gets to utilize a fair bit of.
Oh, back-to-back Gangbang.
Another Destiny comes through. The gold card comes down. There's a public execution. And Keen
Flash actually erlebt, wow.
gets to the wall and does get over.
Wow.
Could have theoretically followed, did have vision there, but decides not to use his flash.
That was actually really cheeky from Faker. He was actually body blocking Keen there.
Yeah,
Try and
clicking
make him,
to the wall.
He was trying to make him mess up his flash.
Kein Flash.
Oh, there's the scat of the week and the commitment of the flashes here.
Wir haben die Frage mit dem Plays beantwortet bekommen.
But then actually leapfrogs Faker, so Faker's able to walk away.
Double flash from Canyon and Chovy.
Huh?
Not to get the kill from on Faker, sorry, and not even getting anything from him because his flash is on cooldown.
All right, so a bit of a weird maneuver there from GENG, but I do like the proactivity, you know, going for something.
Huh?
As FaZe has almost closed the gap as far as the farm is concerned here towards this bottom side. I think it was the series against D plus Kia that FaZe played the Caitlyn. Yes, they lost, but they were incredibly far behind, and his Caitlyn still almost won them the game. Like, it was ridiculous what this guy's capable of on a late-game Caitlyn.
Ah, Full-Tanker.
Let alone if he does manage to get
Hatte schon Mercs, hatte Mercs und Catalyst.
version. And so I think GENG fans probably a little bit nervous about how this one is going to continue.
Chovy is Chovying right now with a pretty substantial CS lead.
Yeah. Staying ahead in gold as like 0-0-1, like even score lines with a TF, is impressive because he does cheat.
He does.
But
That's
a lot of
when
fun.
you get the, I don't know if you remember they did this change. When you get crit chance, it has a chance to
Yeah,
roll
yeah, yeah.
again.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Kind of ludicrous. Unfortunately for Faker, hasn't actually built any crit just yet. But we'll have the rapid fire cannon coming in relatively
We'll look
soon.
forward to that.
Yeah. Canyon now on the Krugs. Going to be taking another one from Ona here. As Keen does have his Thornmail, going to be pretty valuable against the extra Omni-Vamp that the Ambassador gets.
Glauben wir, dass Navi heute gegen MCoy gewinnt?
Skilling it up.
Dann würde ich ein Interview mit Paros anfragen.
What's really weird, it's technically not Omnivamp, it's just healing.
Können gewinnen, ne? Ich sollte ein Interview mit Paros anfragen.
It's not listed
Oh.
as Omnivamp.
Sie können gewinnen auf jeden Fall. Ich glaube nicht, dass safe würde ich jetzt nicht sagen, aber sie können gewinnen auf jeden Fall.
Independent multiplier or something like that. I don't know how the math would work. Sounds awkward.
Yeah, they've changed Omnivamp so many times now. It's like, it used to be you got a certain amount of healing from AoE, and then you didn't, and then it was like how much you did on minions.
Is it like how the old Xin Zhao W used to work? Where you just get health back when you hit? So it's
No,
really
it's not like that, because it still heals a percentage of the damage.
Also,
We got another Destiny.
ab wann wollen wir denn wirklich hardcore campen? Was ist das denn für eine Cringe-Scheiße?
Keen should be dead to start this one.
Oh mein Gott. Oh mein Gott. Wow. Wow.
And Keen manages to keep himself alive until the flash comes in from Doran, but a 1-for-1 is not what T1 wanted. Canyon now going to be taken for a walk by Carrier, gets snared. The Peacemaker does not quite land. Still a 3v3 here in this bottom lane. T1 are just going to walk away.
A little concerned at how fed Doran is now. I know Keen obviously appreciated he could kill Faker, who is disrupting his 1v1 he was looking for, but Doran now with 2 kills in pocket on a big spike as well, level 11 coming in 2. And we'll see the replay on this. The fact that Chovy ends up TPing in here, and specifically to this ward, not to the tower, means he's there in time to help with his play. It looks like Keen's going to go down, but Faker, just no cooldown, doesn't really have the damage.
Krank, na, diese Ambassador-Ulti, wie du es einfach siehst, dass sie genervt ist.
Looked like he was trying to go
Also, dass du so hart siehst, wie sie genervt ist.
gave over that kill to Doran, but either way, it's a 1-for-1.
Canyon going to get a bit of a knock-up here on the Faker. Gets the Cataclysm down as Duro turns up. Chovy's here as well. But the Crescent Guard from Ona is going to be able to keep them alive. Still, Canyon gets out, gives him a good old thumbs up. Bit of a cute play. And Canyon, I mean, he's doing his best and actually does have a slight gold lead. The Encore going to get the flash out of Ona as he makes his way out of the river.
Yeah, notably Duro held the Encore while they're in the Cataclysm because the Crescent Guard was there, and he was like, I don't want to use this. And just hold himself.
Also dieser TF ist insanely behind. Na, ihr versteht nicht, wie viel. Der ist ohne DPF Passive wären das wahrscheinlich 1,2k Gold oder so. Na, sagen wir mal 1,1k Gold. Das ist, also TF ist richtig behind. Der ist komplett useless Stand jetzt. Das ist insane.
He's like, I've got 65 dashes. I will use 60 of them.
Oh, Döner ist tot.
Owner.
Aber er ist doch Scatter the Week.
Way in here.
Und
No one's on the Krugs.
Okay, the lack of vision made it look really spooky, but
Ja.
Chovy already walked back to mid lane.
Stunbot TF, aber er muss erstmal auf die 3 Items kommen, ne?
Strong for keeping up the mystery. As Canyon knows what's going on here and tried to get it with a flag. That is very cute. Didn't, but still.
We've had
Worth a shot.
Switch up of the lane assignments. Chovy going top. Keen's looking to go bot lane. We just have TP to join in on the fight as the bot lane move mid. Herald is up in 45. T1 have managed to snipe 2 dragons this game already, and there's a Hextech Soul. This is the power of having that winning bot lane.
Also, das Problem für mich ist, wie geht man denn hier mit der...
Oh, he's just gonna face check Canyon here. When becomes lightning is going
Kurze Frage, wie geht man denn hier mit der Caitlyn um später?
Canyon.
Ja, JG scheint zu verlieren. Ja, wurden outskilled, I guess.
Just yet. As Chovy might wander down to try and grab it.
Also, wie gehen sie denn mit der Caitlyn hier um? Kurze Frage in die Runde. Also, 2 Items gleich fertig? Schwierig.
2000 gold though, the lead for T1, and it's kind of crazy.
Wait, the lead for T1.
Und Syndra direkt Ulti, okay.
Ah, yeah.
And that is just like, I guess he finished the quest earlier and also managed to cash in a cull.
I mean, they got the bot lane tower.
And they got the bot lane tower. So
thing
first
is,
turret
quest-
is probably the problem.
Quest early doesn't make that much difference because, you know, over the course of the game.
Yeah, sorry, I thought that like Ruler maybe hadn't have completed
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But never mind, he does. So that, I was like, how is he this far ahead? But I think the turret is probably what tells more of the story.
Definitely a big factor. It always feels bad.
Ins Gesicht springen und killen.
You are
Dein Wort in Gottes Ohr. Mal schauen, ob sie es hinbekommen.
crit champion and you hit your spikes when they're hitting like the 3-item spikes. Also, Ruler's tier only at 195 stacks is pretty low at this point in the game. I think stayed in lane for a while and didn't recall for it.
Hoffen, dass es EU-Caitlyn ist. Ja, ja, das ist auf jeden Fall eine EU-Caitlyn.
Spike is gonna come pretty late.
Ja, kein Flash.
Cataclysm, just straight.
Mein Ach hat kein Flash.
The all-out comes through and Faker is really dead.
You know, there's a lot of situations where we've seen players TP or Realm Warp or Destiny out of sticky situations.
Also, der hat hier schon einen Stinker, ne?
I probably like hands up.
Das können wir so sagen.
Now God is kind of the move that you'd go for there. And, you know, the Destiny will come back up relatively soon, so no harm, no foul. Still, nice little pick back here from GENG.
He been King's ult for it, so I don't think it's bad that he used it, but it is just kind of a funny situation where it's like, oh, how much CC do I have in my kit?
Yeah, and no all-out, no Cataclysm for this Dragon fight. Could be a little bit problematic. Double TPs, bring them in, and Faker's TPing top. Yeah, so
they're not contesting this.
They do not want to bother.
Wow, sie geben dritten Draco Cam, das ist halt sehr big.
The comfort room of having those 2 dragons in pocket, where they don't have to contest this one. But obviously does give.
Ja, das Problem ist, du kannst nicht alles bannen, wie Dano sagt, ja. Du kannst nicht alles bannen.
Also just the fact that T1, if they'd had 3, could have really put this game on a timer.
Well, Doran looking for a bit of an angle here. The flag is on the ground, and there's a public execution. I think Canyon does manage to get that flag back off cooldown and gets himself out of the pit.
And Faker's just going to pick up the tower on the top side, so extending the goal lead that they have in trade for that dragon.
And the control ward going to be protected here by Chovy, but the turret does go down, so that is two turrets to nothing. That 2,000 gold lead will stick around, still on pace. He is just kind of the guy right now. Does want to get out of the trough, right? You want to get to 3 or 4 items before you're really comfortable on the Caitlyn, blah, blah, blah. We like to talk about this all the time.
Yeah, also, I think when Carrier gets Mikhail's, fights are going to feel a lot better because, you know, Paze did go that ghost, but there's a lot of abilities on the other side that are going to pose an issue. We got the early Helia pickup, which is great in skirmishes.
Fakers Zeit vorbei, macht nicht so stark an, wie er sonst mal war.
That you need to set it up on Karma, but Mikhail's is a make or break sort of item here.
Yeah.
Maybe recency bias. Ich finde, er hat immer noch gute Games, to be honest.
Go over to Canyon, though, as GENG do get back a modicum of control, despite that gold advantage going over to T1. Feels like the tempo vibes shifting.
Aber er hat auf jeden Fall solche Stinker-Games, ja.
All T1s at the beginning of this game.
Was hat man von Collector First? Ich finde es okay. Ich mag Hex-Optics immer mehr, aber ich verstehe halt, das Serrated Dirk bullied halt Lane härter.
But we will see. As T1 probably wanting to fight for the next dragon. I think giving up 2 to get both teams to double dragon is not what you want. I think T1 need to continue the pressure here. As Scatter the Week connects onto Oni, takes a lot of damage from Chovy. Man, how many splinters does this man have? Quite a lot. Inside booty on the left there. 89. That's quite a few splinters already.
Yep. Large number. And He's approaching having
200
a
CS.
as well. He's been farming like crazy. This is a very
212 CS auf Ruler, wow.
crazy
LG hat
farm.
gewonnen.
Going the Chovy belt second.
200 at 18 minutes is not bad.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, Ruler has more.
Okay, that's even more crazy.
But I think it's just more Chovy's farm in relation to Faker. Faker obviously been trying to roam a good amount.
That really puts into context just how far ahead FaZe is. Because Ruler's
War alle lange von den Gifted, ne?
yet FaZe is still 2,000 gold ahead.
Yeah.
Ruler is at least 70 stacks away from that tier being fully completed. We'll have that Manamune relatively soon as well, which will stack it up a little bit quicker. A little bit of a zoom in here towards this mid lane as Duro does go back home. And ace in the hole, just to be annoying. And he will be successfully annoying. There's the Chovy belt though. Dash cannon now done for the Hextech Proto belt. We've said multiple different names that are not correct.
Yeah, just throw them all out there.
Yeah,
One of them's
exactly.
gonna stick.
One of them.
Ja, die sind doch alles insanely broken, aber die Caitlyn halt auch, mal sehen.
It is.
That'd be a good question.
Chovy belt, obviously.
Yeah, obviously,
Correct
of
one.
course.
Yep.
Und Lasse, viel Spaß mit deinem Audible. Danke für die 2 Naschis, danke.
Speaking of Chovy, he's going to use his belt.
Oh, wait.
Throw himself towards Faker. Wildcards come out. He's going to look to escape, and he will successfully do so.
Yeah, no Kasante this time.
Yeah, and Canyon just not close enough to get a flag and drag for the knock-up, and so the gate will be successful. But now that tool is not up for T1 for the next little while.
Speaking of Kasante, Keen going double armor items already. When you look at T1's composition, Faker is the magic damage. That's it. And TF never really been much of a tank buster.
I think he can keep building armor items.
Yes, I think he definitely
Just
can.
never stop.
Like, he has the Merc Treads for the CC, and then maybe you get like a Jack Show later, and that's just enough MR in this game.
Agreed.
And then just raw armor for the rest of your build is going to make things very difficult for T1 to cut through.
Even just build a Warmogs or something like that, you know? Like, health is just good enough, surely. As Faker is not going to get hit by the Scat of the Week, but...
Eingeflasht. Meng, also 300. Volles Gold. Warte mal, die haben volles Killgold bekommen.
GENG, the fact that you used the flash from Duro
Hä?
as well, but I don't think
Ich sag, ein Support wäre hier 119 Gold wert gewesen.
But in 50 seconds, that dragon's going to be up and available.
Yeah.
And you burned... I mean, I feel like the ults are going to time up pretty quickly, but...
Ja, sie sind halt 100 Stackies. Ja, der geht sehr, sehr gut. Interessant.
Well, Ruler does Arcane Shift out of danger. Chovy is going to be able to take this out of...
Sieht aber sehr nach Drake geben aus, oder?
Going to bring this gold...
Sieht sehr, sehr, sehr nach Drake geben aus.
Ruler nearly has the Romana stacked up. Needs 24 stacks, and we'll see the replay here. Duro's flanking round. The stun not connecting is the big thing. So the stun connects, they can just easily chain the CC. And Duro wanted to flash to secure the ult so he doesn't flash over the wall, but now that is down. And actually, the Encore's miles away still. It's a pretty long...
Also, die haben keine Ult. Also, sieht für mich sehr schwer, auch Vision-wise. TF Top hat keine Ulti, hat aber TP.
They should have enough stacks.
Oh, sie sieht sehr weird aus. Ja, okay, sie gehen für Turret, das ist smart. Schau mal, TP behind von TF.
Wave is going to be taken down. Teleport in from Faker. Goes over some wards. GENG just going to try and get themselves...
Oh, dass Pacer nicht den Headshot gibt, bekommt es halt
Faker gets on
actually ein Bummer. Also, ist ein Riesenbummer sogar.
This pincer maneuver could be really deadly. But Keen just walks...
Steal und Out. Wow. Okay, Keen macht so Meter. Wow.
And they take control of the dragon. T1 solo lane is still behind though as there's a...
Oh mein Gott, sondern besser Ultimist. Was macht Ona?
Now Ona does have that...
Boner.
Canyon though, and Ona's already on the...
Gib mir den Maler.
Taken out, but he didn't have the ulti anyway.
Gib mir den Maler. Gitti.
With the spoils, still Ruler, able to Arcane Shift on top of Faker. The old man battle is won by the 80 carry.
Ja, wenn sie Execution schmeißt, ist das sehr, sehr gut von GENG. Will ich gar nichts sagen, aber irgendwie ist es auch nasty von T1.
Despite the fact Duro doesn't get to use his ultimate, it's still a good fight for GENG. They're able to control the pace of it. And really, it feels like T1's bot lane just couldn't get in a position to get out the damage.
All right, this is exactly the time that GENG wanted to fight, though, around Ruler with these 2 items completed. Let's check out the replay.
Yeah, Keen plays bounce here onto Ona, and then Ona dashes in as Keen buys time for the bot lane. Chovy executes Ona, Canyon gets a smite, and this whole time, Paze and Kerry are just hitting Keen, and he just doesn't seem to...
Dass sie ein besser Ultimate ist so fucking disgusting.
He goes all out, and so that at least gives them the slight ability to do so, but they're looking at this. I mean, Jack Shows is going to come in next, and yes, that has a little bit of MR, but that is still even more armor.
Yeah.
My goodness. frozen heart after that.
Thing
You
is,
know, like,
Hayes
how far can we go?
Hayes went the last Whisper early, but you really
Kein Mika jetzt außerdem noch, ne?
the completed last
Bei
Whisper,
Carrier.
just the component, and then probably some more to be able to cut through.
Muss T1 überhaupt den Drake spielen?
Can we
Also für mich sah die Position für T1 eigentlich ganz geil aus, ne? Ich frage mich, ob, also,
do that as an option? I don't even think
It
you can
does
do that
look
in
like
Classic.
they
That
are-
was broken back in the day.
They are going to have Black Cleaver from Doran and Ona, but
And actually, it didn't get the passive, did it? It was just had really good stats. And you
vielleicht nicht so leicht.
passive way faster if you had more of it. That was how it worked.
still
Never
not
mind.
the most broken stats.
111 Stacks, by the way. Also die Syndra ist bald komplett online.
With the invisible champs.
Yep. Just be Evelyn and permanently be stealthed and just kill people by walking behind them. Oh, what a beautiful game. Lovely time.
Ja, 0 Feld auf Cassandra. Also gerade wenn da muss ein LDR kommen. Wenn da kein LDR bei der Caitlyn kommt, wird dieser Cassandra niemals sterben.
T1 needs to bring us to.
Wow.
A lot of damage.
Yeah, Ruler is
Also niemals.
He's spiking at this point. Also, those Hextech Soul stats, they're not increasing his damage there, but the ability haste and attack speed feels so nice on
God.
an Ezreal.
Well, Paige does have to go home.
This is not looking too positive right now for T1. Kind of losing this pressure in the mid lane, and really it's Genji are pushing up, and now corralling into the enemy.
Geht LDR, okay.
Carrier trying to contest the vision, because obviously Baron's on this side of the map. But there's going to be 5 members of Gen G here soon, with Keen just making his way over. Faker's pushing in the side lane.
This is kind of what the behind Twisted Fate kind of does. Just try and get as much pressure elsewhere on the map as you can. Use your global ability in order to make things happen. We'll be able to get that wave to crash on down. Does get Keen to move on over, but his teleport is back up in a couple of moments' time. And aim of the game now for T1 is don't lose as much as you can and let Paze get to 4 items. 3 items is not enough. 4 items is what he's going to need. Lord Doms needs to come on through, unless Mortal Reminder, maybe it's Lord Doms this time around. It's got to be.
Wie funktionieren Syndra-Stacks? Sie bekommt 5 Stacks pro Level. Und für jede 2 Spells, die du innerhalb von, ich weiß nicht wie viele Sekunden sind, 2 Sekunden oder sowas, auf einen Champion triffst, mit natürlich einer internen Cooldown pro Champion, bekommst du 1 Stack extra.
I mean, that's the thing with the Caitlyn is her late game is insane, and obviously when you get like full build,
3 Sekunden,
especially
1 bis,
AD carries get an extra item.
danke, genau, und das Geld hoch, 1 bis 3 für 2 Spells innerhalb von 4 Sekunden, okay, ja, irgendwie sowas, genau.
Especially when Keen finishes that
Und dann gehen deine Spells hoch, bei 40 wird dein Q upgraded, dann hast du 2 Stacks, bei 60 wird dein W upgraded und du bekommst True Damage drauf.
Ruler here.
Yeah. Oh, Arcane Shift into the wall is not what he was looking
Das
for.
lineal.
He's taken out. That looks similar to the ruler spot. Is now Gen G. There's a minute left.
Bei 80 wird dein E upgraded und der bekommt mehr Breite beim Spell. 100 execute deine Ulti und 120 sind dann 15% extra AP.
Oh, that's true. One thing that's nice though, not a ton was committed
15%,
here
yeah.
by T1 in terms of resources. They still have a lot of big ults. Carry obviously beating the flash, but
oh, public execution. The flash does come out from Chovy. Is Doran taking a bit of damage? Flash traded for an ultimate. You're going to be pretty happy for that if you are.
120 ist Max, genau. Also Chovy ist jetzt maxed out. Korrekt.
And 2 seconds.
Ruler spawn und der hat halt auch Hex Gates, ne? Also er wird da sein. Keen hat kein TP-Schild, also kein TP-Schild.
Hexgate, I should say.
Mana traps are good, but that's the thing. Keen can just tank them up.
Yeah.
And if you headshot, you can just
Position ist wieder awkward, die haben noch kein Rapid Fire fertig.
he's cleared them all out. All the traps are gone. And T1, I know I said last game, I know I said T1 have had this tendency to sacrifice dragons, to sacrifice souls when it's not a good fight.
Quadra Hextech Soul!
Yeah, normally it's with like Mountain or Ocean or Chemtech. Hextech is a big one, and now they didn't sacrifice
Rapid Fire fertig.
but getting it to this point is very precarious. But T1 Deem, it's not a good angle for them. They don't want to take the fight, and they back away and give over that massive boost to Gen G. 1 away from that Hextech Soul.
And it's
scary space to be.
And Ezreal makes use of this probably.
Sie bekommt Skill Point. Ja, ich weiß, aber es ergibt gar keinen Sinn, dass du die skillen musst. Das ist weird.
So Ruler is going to be such a problem for T1 to deal with. Obviously, if he stands in the ruler spot more often, then they will be fine. Paze finds a lot of damage there. Ace in the hole comes down. Arcane Shift comes in, but Doran gets the angle. It is just not good enough to look.
Hilarious.
The gate brings Faker over, and he does manage to stun up Keen. But Keen doesn't even really look like he's noticed yet. Does take about a third of his health bar, but that'll come back.
Doran trying to find the angle, but now he's down his flash, and Ruler, Enduro, Barrier, Heal, Encore, all lower cooldowns than that flash that is now unavailable for the top lane of T1. Not the best feeling in that trade, but you can see the angle he was looking for.
Yep. And Doran still having a fantastic game, still on that killing spree. On this Ambessa, they just haven't really been able to find an angle, and Keen's value is just getting higher and higher as this game gets later, being that big old front line to just buy time for Chovy and Ruler to get that damage through.
Yeah, honestly, Doran's had a pretty fantastic series so far, but I feel like this game is a pretty tricky one. A lot of CC flying out in these fights. And, you know, you got that flash from Chovy.
Noch kein GA bei Canyon?
With the Arcane Shift and having flash.
Wow. Wow. Diese aggressive Trade finde ich halt so geil. Fertiger Hut wieder.
He's gotten the Seeker's Arm Guard and the Rabadons, similar to last game.
Yep.
Canyon nearly has GA, but not quite. They could feel like this is a...
Wie ist TF fast gleich mit einem Gold-Passive.
TF-Passive
ist sehr OP. Für Gold.
Why rush it? Yeah, I think you can look towards that soul fight when Canyon will have a GA finished as well and feel, oh, you can just stop that.
Well, they're going to start it.
Ja.
See how this one's going to go. They do dive on top. The control ward in the back.
TF Volt ist natürlich available, also die rauszubekommen wäre schon gut.
Is now there for T1. Question is, does it actually matter? The Destiny comes out. That's more information. Wind doesn't quite become lightning as now Doran.
Die Position awkward für GENG.
Now Faker off to the side.
Oh wow, die gehen auf Doran drauf.
But where do they turn? They're currently being surrounded. Faker has immediately moved his way over to the rest of his teammates. Owner taking a bit of damage.
Oh wow. Oh, er hat kein Flash, ne? Er hat kein Flash, er hat kein Flash. Er ist tot. Der Commit ist halt so geil. Und Keen lebt. Und Boner ist auch noch tot. Vielleicht tot. Hat noch Flash. Also ein guter. Sie können jetzt wieder Nash starten, ne? Keen hat TP, aber sie können wieder Nash starten, wenn sie wollen.
And they are on the hunt. They have so much mobility with Ruler just arcane shifting forward over and over again.
Ja. I mean, die sind so gut, oder nicht? Decision-making-wise. Wie und wann sie turnen, das ist so ein Brett.
I don't think he's going to be able to get there in time. Ruler gets over the wall. Owner is going to show up. Wind becomes lightning. They know that this is close, but it's secured by Canyon. You see them hold off on the damage for a moment there to see whether he's going to go for something, but he doesn't actually manage to do so.
The big thing now, look at the item spikes coming on the left of your screen. Medjai's GA, Moonstone. The only flash burned on the side of GENG was from Keen, so GENG feel really comfortable to fight after this, and this fight ends up very split. They chase down Doran here who has no flash. In the meantime, T1 are focusing down Keen. You can see at the top of your screen. Just clipped
Ich bin schon, also was mal, also Doran, Fragezeichen, aber wie GENG Decisive Turn und so weiter ist halt sehr gut, ne?
Try to go for an ult on Owner, but the Crescent Guard stops that from being possible. And now Faker is in trouble.
Wo ist der denn hintipiert?
Even, I think
Lol.
Bam that pressed Destiny, but it was not an ideal situation. He
Lol.
wanted to get it off anyway. Yeah. And now GENG, Baron in hand, pushing the bot lane. T1, they have a wave, but I think Keen could probably just maybe give over one tower, but they're not, you're going to get more than that.
There is also an Ambessa in the top lane as well. It's kind of an interesting little attempted trade. You can see it's kind of working right now as the Rebel Baron power play has not really changed, but if they lose their Nexus, then it's probably not worth.
Yeah, you see the ult from...
Yeah, if that had to stop Pays, it could have been really problematic, because, yeah, GENG...
Aber ist auch so problematic, oder nicht?
With these minions.
The thing is, they don't need to do any more here. They can just back off and pick up the Dragon. Fake is not going to be available for it. No TP, no Destiny. He doesn't have a route back in. And Faker was just a little bit overextended here. Chovy trying to get in range. But then he saw that he was being flanked by Canyon. He was just kind of doomed.
Yeah.
There was the Destiny where it was just like, you know, doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. Wasn't.
You may as well press the button. But now it is that Quadra Hextech Hextech and that's a lot of cool stuff.
And look at the items. We just got Endless Hunger from Ruler. We have the 10 stacks on Chovy's Medjai's, and honestly, Syndra with the
4 Hextechs, also es ist over, oder nicht?
Mobile, so fast actually, so much movement speed.
Auch Endless Hunger bei Ezreal, es ist einfach over, oder nicht?
So this is feeling pretty impossible for T1 right now. They need a hero moment. They need to catch Ruler or Chovy off guard.
Draft ist verrückt, ne? Es fühlt sich wirklich so an, als ob es komplett unspielbar ist, ne? So krank.
He doesn't really mind.
Hätte ich nie so eingeschätzt.
Else. Endless Hunger, like you were saying, is now completed. Ruler looks like he's going to go for the...
Na, ich dachte, ich dachte, TF auf 4, sie picken dann den Cassandra rein, du packst easy TF Toplane und Last pickst einfach Mitte.
Yep, not too bad.
Right now,
the
the
siege
being built.
Oh, goodness me.
Look at all those cannon minions.
Das war meine Idee. Wow. Wow, die werden gegangbankt.
Doesn't seem fair.
Arcadian 5 war open, ja. Arcadi war open, also
But the scout of the week is fantastic. Pace gets clipped.
unplayable.
Hey, McHale's, that gets him out of the way, but now McHale's not going to be available for the next play. As the scatter onto Faker is dangerous, but he is close to his Nexus turret. Owner goes in. Crescent Guard to keep him alive. Doran a little susceptible, but
look at that bot
just
wave that's
continuing to
coming
push. Yeah,
Pretty
exactly,
massive.
man. It is high seas today. The waves are getting out of control. And T1 having to deal with these super minions moving forward. The smite helps Owner out as far as that is concerned. But GENG not going to bite off more than they can chew. 4 minutes on the Elder, 2.5 minutes on the Baron. They will just back off.
So much damage done, though, to the base. Obviously, with the Baron timing out, they can't really push more into the Nexus towers, but the side lane inhibitors being down just puts so much pressure on mid because you're trying to deal with waves top, waves bot, and they can just push there. Canyon in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, he's going to flash, but I don't know whether he's actually going to be able to escape because Payne's put him in a trap so comfortably. GA does nothing when there is a Caitlyn. Down goes Canyon. A possible angle here, but there's still 2 minutes on like anything relevant.
Yeah, it buys time, allows them to clear up the waves, which is going to give them a good amount of gold. That's nice, but ultimately it doesn't really change. You're not able to pick up like a Dragon or a Baron right now. But you do bin his Flash and his GA, which are long cooldowns you won't have available. This is a good play from T1, finding an angle to be proactive, but they need a lot more like this to change the state of the game.
Yeah, Ruler also able to find a little bit of damage there as the Owner off to the side. Going to take a lot of damage. Does have his Crescent Guard though, so he is a little bit more tanky than you
QSS bei Ruler.
8 seconds left on Canyon. And GENG still on the offensive as they...
Aber wenn sie spielen Nash richtig, 2 Nips down ist natürlich geil, aber ja.
As far as a way to approach, Pays 5th item now done.
TF holt ihn nicht ab.
Very scary.
Wer ist da links? Ist da jemand links in der Flank?
Coming in, they're looking for the
Yeah,
flank.
there's the flank angle.
Canyon ist nicht da.
As the public
Lol,
execution
Mist.
goes wide,
Lol.
then left on his
Lol.
own, and he's executed.
Lol.
And now Keen in the front line, exactly
Warte
where
mal,
he wants to be. Doran dashing around.
Lol.
The encore doesn't quite work onto Owner, but he still has to go.
Hey.
And T1
Ja.
but I don't think GENG
Kann das scheiß Alien auf Caitlyn nicht solo killen?
He's an absolute monster there. Just when things start to look like they're going in the bin, 4 T1, he steps up and kills the rival.
Nein, nicht T1 bin. Das will keiner. Nicht T1 bin.
And it's so hard to step up to Chovy.
Yeah, Chovy's still like 8 seconds left on another ultimate.
Keine Sums auf Caitlyn.
Anyone walks up, they may just kind of die. He does so much damage at this stage of the game. And the inhibitor is going to fall.
Was?
Chovy was dashing forward, actually tries to find Pays, but he gets so much healing and shielding
Was ist diese Caitlyn?
that it looked like it just didn't do anything. 15 stacks on that.
Hilfe!
But I think Chovy wants avoid stuff before he's really going to be executing this Caitlyn with a Bloodthirster now done.
Yeah, I mean, this is the major threat now, is that Pays has 5 items completed. That Bloodthirster as well means it's so hard to poke him. Bloodthirster in Ezreal, honestly, just makes it such a challenge. The Mystic shots just aren't going to cut through when he's healing on every auto. And a crit headshot from a Caitlyn is so much health back in these fights.
Oh, yeah. Doran is also level 20 with a Death Dance now done. Moonstone does come on through here for Duro. Pace is making
3 Inhips down, die gehen noch... Okay, Bot Inhips wieder ab.
We'll just be gone. There is just nothing that T1 can do about it.
Yeah, the problem is Elder's in a minute, and honestly, with how strong Pays is, it's not impossible to see T1 finding an advantage in an Elder fight, find an angle in. The gold is even at this point. The problem is, GENG should never let it be an Elder. They have Baron, they have super minions mid and top, inhibitors exposed bot. They can just play through the minions, and they should win on the back of that.
Yeah, it's about the 6th man at this stage. Keen hits level 20. And T1, they need to try and work this one out. The Public execution, doesn't really do too much.
It's the right sort of play to go for. You need
30 Sekunden, Alter.
before these minions build.
Fühlt sich wie Rinse and Repeat vom letzten Game an, oder?
That slows it down, makes it so hard to connect.
Yeah, and the setup is just not quite there. Scatter the Weak is phenomenal. Somehow manages to spread all the way out onto the two opposing sides there for T1. No one actually going to get engaged on just yet.
Kann auf Waves warten.
But that poke is deadly, especially.
Problem ist diesmal keine Ocean Soul. Also wenn da jetzt ein Auto...
Not doing too much as Faker. My God, the damage out of Ruler is absurd. Faker has to go back to the fountain.
Ja, dieses Soul macht's.
For the moment.
Ah!
Now the fight. And you can see, yeah, Pays.
Entschuldigung.
When he does manage to get these shots off, he is so dangerous. Scatter the Weak, not going to affect.
Die FPS ist, by the way, vom Spectator so low.
This guy. Super Minion pushing him bot. Once it's triple waves, I think it's just game over. Although we have the inhib respawning top. GENG will just clear that out immediately. But it does mean the Super Minions are a little bit staggered, but it's still so hard to defend. T1 doing a great job of buying time. But is it going to be enough?
They're doing the best that they can. This poke damage kind of ridiculous. They're
there's
looking for a flank angle from Doran. He makes his way in. Chovy takes
So, Flash.
flashes. He get out of the
Stark.
way. Scatter is the encore.
Wie viel kann die Caitlyn machen?
They take out the embed.
Nicht genug. Nicht genug. Tötet sie.
So does the Caitlyn. It's a double.
Bockstark.
And I think GENG may have just returned the favor to T1 as they are going to be unable to win any of their games here at the home ground, much like GENG just did. And a phenomenal
Sehr schön.
for the boys in goal.
Sehr schön, sehr schön, sehr schön.
In form as we approach playoffs. This is the level you want to be playing at, and T1 unfortunately not able to get that win at the home ground. So many fans tuning up, giving their support so loud. We can hear that crowd, but it feels like there's just a home ground nerf at the moment.
It's kind of insane. And this was T1, right? The team that were on like, what, a 4-game winning streak. The last time was in 2024 that they lost at a T1 home ground, and now it is 2 in a row. Big milestone there from Chovy.
So.
Saw actually Chovy give Pays a little pat on the shoulder as he walks past, of course, previously. Teammates on GENG. So a lot of camaraderie as well as the rivalry between both of these squads.
Wir schauen jetzt außerdem gleich, bleibt dran, wir schauen jetzt IG gegen Weibo. Der Schüchterne spielt gleich. Müsste so in 5 bis 10 Minuten losgehen.
That game 1 was so back and forth. Game 2, it did feel like, you know, they gave a lot of space over to GENG when it came to those dragons, which obviously was a risk, obviously didn't pay off. But there were still a lot of moments where it was a challenge. This was a great series between these two teams.
Yeah.
GENG just seemed to have leveled up as we've gotten towards the end.
I also think that losing a game 1 like that is so difficult to mentally come back from. Because
Können wir nicht bei Tolkien reinschauen? Kurze Zwischencheck. Madeira Erdbeben, das Problem ist ja, okay, heute will ich ihn nicht treten, weil er Internetprobleme hat. Oh mein
GENG unangefochten erster Platz, 2 Punkte über T1 sogar.
Oh mein Gott, er ist tief.
Gewonnen, T1 hat beide verloren.
It's not a best of 5.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Bei den Spielern wird entschieden, wer in Playoffs so hinkommt.
Löse ich mal auf.
Zweiter zu sein ist sehr, sehr broken. Wenn du erster oder zweiter wirst, hast du halt eben Runde 1 übersprungen automatisch. Wenn du halt eben dritter, vierter wirst, dann musst du gegen den 5. oder 6. spielen. Dann überspringst du keine Runde. Deswegen erster, zweiter ist schon Luxusposition. Fuck. Aber ist okay, gleich spielen unsere Bros. Und danach spielt Fan.
Ja, tatsächlich, wir schauen IG gegen Weibo. Die Bros laufen bei Tolly, aber ja.
with the fact that Keen was